Welcome everybody, Nez Nation. Happy Friday, May 3rd, 2024. How in the world are you? Let me know how you're doing in the comments. Live viewers, let me know where you're joining me from, what city, what state. I love hearing from you. If you're watching this on the replay, don't go anywhere. This is going to be jam-packed. Cash Money G, Fani Willis is in the hot seat yet again. The Senate committee, the Georgia Senate committee that you see on your screen right now, just had a live hearing this morning. Now, the beautiful thing about kind of going post live, if you will, is that I get to kind of fast forward through all the good parts. And there's a lot of good parts. There's a lot of boring parts, and there's a lot of good parts. So stick around because I'm going to give you all the information. I'm going to let you know what's happening, what's going on in just a second. I just want to say hello to you guys. If you are watching this on the replay, let me know. Just put a big capital replay in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. Wow, look at that. I see Jesse from Tennessee. Come on in. Come on in. Southern Kentucky in the house. Lady Man. Sharon's in Michigan. Great to see you. Callie in the house. RS. Don't forget to tap that thumbs up. I'd really appreciate it. And share this out with everybody you know. So what's happening today is, you guys remember the subpoena of Ashley Merchant, where this is the Georgia Senate committee that is headed by Senator Bill Cowsert. I love his, there he is right there, just entering the courtroom. I love his accent. If you love his accent, give me a yeah in the comments right now. And what this essentially is what he's doing and what his committee members are doing is actually representing the people of Georgia, because the people of Georgia, the people of Fulton County, the entire state, what Cash Money G has basically done is she has created a dark smear across the ethos and credibility of this entire state, not only with the sham trial going after a former president and 18 other co-defendants, but also with the way that she's handled herself, the impropriety, the infractions, the unprofessionalism, the time after time after time, lying under oath, lying about the relationship with Nathan Wade, misappropriation of forfeiture funds, which Ashley Merchant testified to, the meeting at the White House with Kami Kamala. I mean, the list goes on and on. Governor Kemp passed a law that essentially stated that prosecutors can be reprimanded, and that the governor and other offices, the legislator, the state legislator, can have oversight, because it's basically the Cash Money G law. And now what Senator Cowsert is trying to ascertain is, where did those public funds go? When she went to Aruba, Jamaica, ooh, I want to take ya. When she took her lover boy, philandering Wade, to Aruba, Jamaica, and all these cruises, that was all on taxpayer funding. When she paid him exorbitant, almost $1 million, that was on taxpayer dollars. Okay, not only was he unqualified, but she didn't have any right to hire a special prosecutor, and she had no right. It was a complete conflict of interest when she took advantage of taxpayer funds. She took advantage of the money that she paid Nathan Wade by benefiting from that. That is a conflict of interest. That is illegal. Sammy spills the tea in the house. By the way, you want to become a member, because, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be doing a special live stream giveaway at the end of this stream for members only. Now is your chance. Maybe my main mod, the captain, Mike Shriver, could leave a link. It's also in the show notes and in the description if you're listening to this and watching this on the podcast and the replay. I'm so excited. It's Friday. Grab your special drink. Grab your favorite drink. We're going to get down and dirty. We're going to listen to this amazing Georgia Senate committee investigation into Cash Money G, Fani Willis. And of course, you're going to notice there's going to be a vacant seat here. And Cash Money G is not here, of course. Why would she be? Why would she be? Is she ever present? Does she ever care about anything other than herself? By the way, super chats and super stickers, stick around to the end. I'll give you a massive shout out as well. Thank you, John.
We are waiting for a couple of other committee members that have indicated they will be here.
Okay.
A couple will not, but I'm going to give it about 2 or 3 more minutes. And if they're not present, then we'll proceed. If you'll just be patient with us. Thank you.
Okay, so they're going to start very soon, and I'll explain everything. But really quickly, let me just say this. So now is your chance to become a member, but also this is what's happening. This is what's going on. So this is the same committee that actually subpoenaed Ashley Merchant. We did an entire live stream video on that. Thank you, Cap. Cap just left a link right there. Thank you, Captain Mike Shriver. Captain Mike Shriver is the best mod in the business. Captain Mike, stick around because you get an honorary mention. You get an honorary giveaway at the end of this stream. Now, of course, Cash Money G's not here. Why? She's at a barbecue. That's where she is. Remember how we did a video, how she skipped out on the debate to go to Miami for cocktails and conversations, where she ran away from Laura Loomer, the reporter, and she ran away from any kind of responsibility. She ran away from her obligation, and she was basically left her people, her constituents, in the dust, where her challengers had to speak into an empty podium. She represented an empty podium. The ironic, profound truth of that was so beautiful. So of course she's not here today. So what's happening here is we've got two important people that have been subpoenaed. The African-American gentleman right there that you see in the middle of your screen is Mr. Pitts. He is the county commissioner. To his left is the CFO, the chief financial officer. Her name is Sharon. Her name escapes me. Something Whittmore. I think it's Sharon Whittmore. Stick around, super chats and super stickers. I will get to all of you and give you a massive shout out at the end. And so you have the chief financial officer, as well as you've got the head of the county commission, basically the county commission director, Mr. Pitts. And he's going to introduce, Cowsert's going to introduce everybody. But this is important because Cowsert is doing the job that he was elected to do. He is doing the job of what the people want to know, which is Cash Money G thinks she's invincible. Cash Money G, Fani Willis, thinks she can get away with, stealing taxpayer dollars. She thinks she can get away, even though Judge Pussycat McAfee, took Nathan Wade off the case. She thinks she's invincible. She thinks she can get away with murder. She lied under oath, and she committed egregious impropriety, conflict of interest after conflict of interest. Good to see you. Georgina's in the house. She's committed transgression and violation after violation after violation. And she thinks she's invincible. And it's all because of DEI. Because of DEI. If this was 10, 20 years ago, not only would she have been fired, not only would she have been disbarred, she'd be facing criminal prosecution, perhaps even some jail time, which is what she deserves. And so Cowsert is doing the job of the people. And what he's essentially doing is he's questioning, he's already subpoenaed Ashley Merchant, which was amazing, tantalizing testimony. And now he has subpoenaed the county commissioner, the head of the county commission, as well as the chief financial officer, the CFO. Woo! I'm so excited. Let's get cooking. Because this is no longer live, I can fast forward this.
2024 meeting.
Here we go. Check it out.
Everybody had an opportunity to review these thoroughly. All right, is there a motion?
Move to adopt the March 6th minutes as presented.
And with the amendment of the spelling correction, accept that motion. Is there a second?
Second.
All right. Any further discussion on that? And likewise, we will vote. All in favor, raise your hand of approving those minutes. Any opposed? All right, they are unanimously adopted. You'll also notice in your folder just a copy of our Senate committee rules. I put these in here because we did have some questions posed to us from the Fulton County Commission as they were preparing their responses to make sure what their timeliness was and how to object. I would like to state to you, Chairman Pitts and Ms. Whittmore, y'all should be aware that we have confidentiality rules on this committee. If there are any documents responsive to our subpoena that you feel like contain confidential information that should not be disclosed to the public, because we are creating a public record here, please identify those to me, and I will, in accordance with our rules, deem them confidential and shielded from public view. I know that just in conversations with your county attorney, I know Sue has told me there are certain things that she has redacted in these, if anything that dealt with the birth date, social security numbers, health information of any of the employees of the county. And that is certainly fine. That's what we're trying to accomplish, to make sure that we are protecting documents that should be confidential, but also obtaining the records that we need to complete our investigation, and with the understanding that the vast majority of anything we ask for are in the public domain anyway. These are public government records that should be accessible to the general public, but also to the state Senate to conduct our work here. So thank you, and just let me know before we post anything on the website, any documents, if there are any that you feel like need to be shielded or protected in any way. Fair enough? All righty. Before we get started, I will need to swear each of you in. Mr. Pitts, I'll start with you. If you will raise your right hand, please, sir. Do you swear the testimony that you will give before this committee this morning will be the truth, the whole truth, and to the best of your knowledge and ability?
I do.
And Ms. Whittmore, would you likewise? You swear the testimony you'll provide this morning will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help you God.
Yes.
We have our court reporter present. We'll be making a transcript of all the testimony, and we're happy to share that with you. It will become part of the public record afterwards. If you later want to correct any answers or add information, we welcome that. And I will state before we begin, as we say every meeting, that our Senate website is set up that if anybody from the public has information you think might be relevant to our investigation, feel free to reach out to us and provide any information that could be relevant to us, and let us know if you would like to testify before this committee as our process unfolds throughout the summer and the fall. Mr. Pitts, let me get you just to give us a little brief background. You and I know each other,
Yes,
and I think most people in Fulton County know of you from your long history of public service. If you would tell us a little bit about the position you hold and how long you've been in the chairman's post and any other political service before that, I think it might give some context.
Thank you, Senator, Mr. Chairman. I've been, as you've indicated, been involved as an elected official for many years. I look at Senator Butler, and I kind of count sometimes to figure out just who is still standing. And I'm sorry that you're going to be leaving us. But I began my political career in Atlanta as a member of the Atlanta City Council. I served there for 20 years as a member of the Atlanta City Council. Then I was elected as president of the City Council. I served 4 years as president. Then I moved over to the county, where I served for, I think, 12 years as a member of the commission, as a commissioner. And for the last 7 or 8 years, I have been privileged to serve as chair of the Board of Commissioners of Fulton County.
And as in that position, how often does your commission meet? Is it twice a month?
We meet the first and third Wednesdays of every month.
Is it part of the duties and responsibilities of the Fulton County Commission to establish the budget for the district attorney's office and some supervision of that office?
We establish the budget for the district attorney as well as all other departments for final approval.
And when you're formulating the budgets, does the district attorney submit to you a budget request for public funding?
The process, and I'll defer to our chief financial officer, but there's a process where the department heads appear before the manager and the finance team to explain their requests, and then from there it comes to us for final approval. We might want to clarify.
So the budgets of all the county departments, including the district attorney's office, are ultimately approved by the county commission?
That's correct.
Okay. Ms. Whittmore, if it's okay with you, I may bounce back and forth between witnesses, because I understand, as the chairman just deferred to you, there are areas where you have particular expertise. Okay.
Yes, that's fine.
Brenda, I'm not going to make your life as miserable as you're sitting there thinking right now. Our court reporter is going to try to keep a transcript, but you will occasionally have to go back and forth between witnesses. I will have, I'm going to have Ms. Whittmore later, a direct line of questioning her, but I may periodically let her chime in here, okay? All right. Sharon, tell us a little bit about that, how that budgeting process works.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Chairman Pitt's description is the general process. Actually, every department of county government, including constitutional officers and elected officials, submit an annual budget request through our budget development application. Those requests are reviewed, vetted, and verified through our budget office. The county's budget ordinance is designed in a way that the budget is developed and presented to the Board of Commissioners as a recommendation from the Office of the County Manager. So we have a review process that we undertake with the county manager and members of his executive team to review the requests that are presented. Typically, we provide each agency with a base budget figure to start with, and then they are allowed to submit what we call budget enhancements, where they can ask for additional resources to just continue an existing program, to expand an existing program, or to establish a new program or service. We also have a separate process that we run simultaneously as the operating budget for a capital budget requests, and there is a capital budget review committee that receives and vets all of those requests, and they are then in turn taken into consideration at the same time as operating budget requests, because we only have one pool of resources to use. So we consider all of those at the same time. So our constitutional officers and elected officials submit their requests through the same channels. Sometimes they may choose not to come and present to the county manager's office, and then choose instead to communicate their budget needs directly with the Board of Commissioners. So that, in a nutshell, is the county budget process.
And when you talk about capital expenditures, is that like new automobiles for police departments, new buildings, new expenditures on things along those other than personnel?
Yes, sir. Rolling stock, heavy equipment, facility renovation, new facilities, facility expansion, all of that would come through our capital portal process.
So when we talk about building a new county jail, that's a capital project.
That is one very significant capital project. Yes, sir.
Can you give us just a feel for what the size of Fulton County's annual budget is?
All funds including all funds included, it's about $1.2 billion.
And do you have readily available what amount of general funds from the county are allocated to the district attorney's office on an annual basis? I guess we'll just talk about this year to start with.
In 2024, the district attorney's allocation was $36.6 million from the general fund.
Chairman Pitts has tried to explain to me that there are several buckets of funds that are used to fund the district attorney's office. Would you kind of run that through for me as to what additional funding over and above the $36.6 million of general funds from county tax revenues that are allocated to the district?
Yes,
attorney?
sir. The district attorney, in addition to the county's general fund resources, also has resources that are available through the confiscated asset forfeiture fund, as well as the victims witness assistance fund, federal asset forfeiture funds, and we keep all of these in separate Is your question specific to the ARPA resources themselves?
Yes.
Yes, sir. They determine where and how our ARPA resources. Yes, sir. I mean, we tend to start.
I'm going to fast
from
forward a little bit just to get
the-
to some
the
exciting
previous year
stuff.
and-
Knowledge from our county attorney. But
They're just kind of
Constance
explaining their
is so
roles
long.
right now. I want to get to some exciting stuff. So I'm going to go like an hour in. This is where the questions really.
Joe,
Sue Joe.
yes.
And that's SOO and then JO.
Yes,
I got
sir.
that right.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So Joe, I may ask you to.
Oh, this is important too, because this is where he's introducing the county attorney, Sue Joe. She starts commenting soon, not that long as well.
Share some information with us. You're not under subpoena and it won't be sworn testimony, but if it comes a time where you can help sort of enlighten us, you just let us know, or else you can keep letting the chairman know. All right, so those outside counsel
Mhm.
have to be approved by the county commission.
Correct.
And it's done on the recommendation of the county attorney
Correct.
or the request, and that would specify the pay rate that those folks would be paid.
That's correct.
Right. And the second category.
Second category would be a special prosecutor. And a special prosecutor is, I believe I'm correct on this, that the district attorney has sole discretion under very narrow circumstances. And I don't know how to define narrow circumstances, but that's how it's been described to me, to hire independent of the board of commissioners, a special prosecutors.
Okay.
That's her decision and her choice.
But that
And we
would,
have nothing to do with that.
you wouldn't have anything to do with the selection or approval of that counsel.
That's correct.
But you would ultimately be paying for that counsel through the general appropriations bucket in the budget that you approve for the DA's office.
Yeah. I'm told, yes,
All right. And you're told that by your chief financial officer.
Yes.
That's her job to know.
yes.
Okay. On
If
those
we
people,
wouldn't know,
you wouldn't know the name of them
No.
or how much they're being paid,
no.
but you're going to see a line item on an audit at the end of the year showing how much that person was paid.
They're typically captured as professional services expenses.
And is that in a group or individual?
It's professional services object code within the district attorney's budget within the general fund.
All right. That's, didn't educate me. I'm wanting to, does that mean if Miss Willis hires 15 special prosecuting attorneys and pays them $10 million, that's all you see is that 10 million was spent for that type of personnel? Or does it give you how much Mr. Wade got, how much Mr. Johnson and Ms.
So our system captures all of that, but as far as how our reports roll up, at the object code level, you would just see the total amount. You would have to actually go into the accounting system and to extract the details of the payments for professional services, because there may be more than just legal services or outside or special prosecutor services within the object code for professional
So you
services.
got professional services. It doesn't even delineate how much is attorneys and how much is a janitor.
Yes, sir.
So if I want to find out how much Mr. Wade was paid for his services as a special prosecutor, who has that data? I want to issue a subpoena to find that out. Do I give it to you as the county and you can discern that? Or do I have to go to whoever hired this professional service provider?
The county actually has an open government platform. You could go to our open checkbook and you could search by the name, and it would pull up the name of any vendor that matches that description, and you could find payments that way. So you could go in and type in Mr. Wade's name or the name of his law firm, and you would be able to pull those documents. You could also submit an open records request to the finance department, and the accounts payable team would pull the details and provide that documentation. Or you could subpoena probably the district attorney or any member of her staff that is involved in their internal accounting and vendor payment process.
Is it?
It was
only-
included in my subpoena.
Right. So
So
that's my question.
yes.
Can you find that information,
yes.
or do I have to go to the DA who may not provide?
No,
it?
we have that information.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
You can tell me the recipient by name of these professional services payments.
What we provided today was specific to Mr. Wade. We are working on, the request also included any other attorney, so we are still working on that. Our process is we are searching now through all of the transactions within that professional services object code, pulling out the ones that appear to be legal firms and pulling the underlying supporting documentation to determine if they were in fact legal firms and if those expenses are responsive to the subpoena, and if so, they will be provided.
And I know I might sound a little lawyerish here. I don't mean to be hounding you, but I'm wanting to make sure that I address that subpoena to the right person. And I'm told you are the bomb. You are the answer to financial questions in Fulton County, or can get them. If I'm wrong, help direct me where I need to submit additional subpoenas to track down that information.
No, sir. Submitting a subpoena to me is should be sufficient.
And I will say on the record, you have been very responsive, and I know it's a lot of data and information, and I appreciate your efforts to continue providing that to me.
Thank you.
You have been completely transparent and helpful in trying to find things. So you said supporting documentation. What kind of supporting documentation would there be for a professional services payment to a law firm?
Typically, their billing statement.
Do you have supporting documentation to show you a contract with them, with the independent contractor between the legal services provider and the district attorney's office or the county?
The contracts typically are not provided as part of the supporting documentation. It can be requested, but
From you or from the DA's office?
if I have it, I will provide it. If I don't have it, and it's something that I can't get, then I wouldn't be able to provide it.
Okay. Because this is sounding to me kind of like the Wild West. Very little control from Fulton County over a $36 million budget. You don't know how much of that is spent on professional services, who is hired, how much they're paid per hour, what their total compensation is, yet you're being asked to provide $36.6 million a year that you know encompasses a number of those type of independent contractors that you're funding with no oversight or control, right?
This is why I love Cowsert. Listen to this question. You are giving the district attorney $36 million of the overall state budget, and you're telling me that you have no accountability, you have no willing to invoice what the vendors are, where she's spending it, how she's hiring. Listen to this question, y'all. This is very, very important. Listen up.
Right.
Yeah, the Board of Commissioners has no oversight over the district attorney.
So your only control is the power of the purse, whether you continue funding money that can be used for those purposes, or whether you restrict that funding. Is that fair, Chairman Pitts? I guess that's really your question.
Could you repeat that, Mr. Chairman?
So your only control is the power of the purse, is either granting or rejecting requests for additional funding from the DA's office.
That's correct.
Okay. And that has to be based upon assurances presented to you by the DA as to why she would need particular amounts of funding.
Right. The DA can come before the board and make a request at any time. And we would consider the request, and if we agree, then we'll grant it.
Right.
If we disagree, then we won't grant it.
And in that request, do you require her to give some specifics, some who I want to hire, why I need to hire somebody, how much I want to pay them, what's going to be the cap on their
We don't
service?
get into that sort of detail. I mean, she'll would make a case as to why the need is there and what it would cost. But as far as individual names and what the compensation for a given individual would be, we don't get that kind of detail, nor do we ask it.
Did DA Willis ever make a request for specific funding for a special assistant DA, prosecuting DA for for Mr. Wade?
Not to my knowledge.
And is her position that she doesn't have to ask or provide that information to the county in order to make a supplemental funding request?
Well, again, with respect to the special prosecutor, that's solely the purview of the district attorney, unlike the outside counsel.
But you fund the district attorney based upon her stated needs or her request for funding, right?
Correct.
Okay. In her budget request, does she have a category for special prosecutors?
I don't recall saying a special category.
Mr. Chairman, I guess I would have to say that she, as have prior district attorneys, have asked for resources, trial expense resources,
Right.
without it being specific to X amount for a special prosecutor or.
I'm pausing it for just 1 second. Please tap that thumbs up. But here's what I want to say really quickly. This is what I love about post live. We're live, but we're post live. I love you all. It's Friday. Let's have some fun, y'all. We're going to have fun. Why? Because we're getting our country back. Thanks to you. I've been around these people my whole life. These are the same academician administrators, corporate, soulless, dead, corrupt officials and bureaucratic nightmares. These are the people that pass all the policies that when you're doing a good job as an American citizen, as somebody who works hard for your company, you don't make any, you don't do anything that is below the table. You don't do anything egregious. These are the kind of things where you get to work on like a Monday and they give you these new policies and you just want to go, what the F is happening here? Why are they doing this? They're just making my job more difficult for no reason. You know exactly what I'm talking about. These are those kinds of people. Why? How do I know this? Because I've ate, slept, and breathed this bureaucratic, academician, DEI, woke mind virus, mafia BS for decades. This is why I'm so inflamed with purpose, because my media company, this media company, our podcast, Nez Nation Live, on YouTube, on Rumble, and on Spotify and Apple, we're live on Facebook as well. I'm just so excited. And with your help, just by tapping the thumbs up, it's free, we're exposing these people because media is the greatest resource. Mainstream media is not talking about any of this stuff. Only channels like myself, independent grassroots who are not beholden to Pfizer, not beholden to Nestle, not beholden to all these corporations. I am my own boss. And with your help, we can spread the news. We can spread the information, the truth, and we can get our country back. I love you guys. This is so good. You mean to tell me you're giving Cash Money G complete latitude to spend? No wonder she's corrupt. No wonder she's vermin from the inside out. No wonder she's getting away with murder. She's a DEI hire. But you're literally, what these guys are literally saying is, no. She can do whatever she wants. We give her tens of millions of dollars and she can do whatever she wants. That's what they're saying. Listen to these people. This is so important.
X amount for expert witnesses or, things like that. I think that it's been more like we know we have these major prosecutorial matters that will be moving forward and will require, additional resources. But I don't recall there being any specific line item details necessarily associated with that.
All right, so we heard testimony at a previous meeting that there was a team of at least 10 assistant DAs working on an election interference case, and at least 3 special counsel that are being paid as independent contractors, including Mr. Wade. Was that ever described to the county commission in any of the funding requests?
I don't recall that coming before the board.
So she never came to you and said, I'm going to need a lot of money here to conduct this prosecution of, now there's 16 different defendants I'm going to call it the election interference case. Was that ever expressed to the county commission that that's part of why you were asked to give 36.6 million?
Again, not with that level of detail. So again, trial expenses.
Just generic.
Yeah, again, not with that level of detail. So essentially, the district attorney's office of Fulton County is given X amount of dollars. And because she's a DEI appointed hire, because she's Cash Money G Fani Willis, and because she has a toxic work environment, I guarantee you both Pitts, Chairman Pitts, what a name, right? Chairman Pitts, ironically, profoundly appropriate. And the CFO Whittmore here, who just seems really kind of passive. And I mean, the point is Cash Money G walks all over these people. Cash Money G does whatever she wants. That's why she stormed into that courtroom during the disqualification hearing where Judge Pussycat McAfee walked out. Remember that? It's a lie. It's a lie. It's all a lie. No, I got it right here. It's a lie. It's a lie. Remember that? That's why. She is the most toxic individual to ever be holding a position of an officer of a court. We need to get rid of her. And what she's really doing, she's pursuing, here's the irony, she's pursuing election interference with 19 co-defendants and our former president, when actually she's the one committing election interference. Just like the fake Don Juan Mershon, just like Alvin Do Nothing Bragg, just like Letitia Big Shane James, and just like Jack needs to go to prison, Smith. It's all a complete coordinated effort under the Obama-Clinton mafia to stop America from being great again. I can't think of any other way to categorize. I mean, if you don't see that, this is what Aristotle taught 2,000 years ago. Critical thinking, critical discernment. That is your sovereignty. As an American citizen, our founding fathers, we based all of our premises, all of our laws on the power of our critical thinking. Here we go. Back to this. It's going to get good too. Stick around.
Not even for the type of prosecution.
I want to say for the 23 budget, and I will have to go back and verify this, that there was some communication where she identified a need for resources because she expected to have to retry a case that had been a high profile case, as well as the gang matters that she has. I think there are a couple of those, and the elections, the elections interference matter as well.
Think
But,
she-
but again, it was a lump sum, not specific with line item details.
So you think that was in her budget request, perhaps in 23? Are we talking about Young Thug trial that's been it's gone on forever and ever so far, or different gang related?
I believe there is more than one gang-related, large-scale prosecutorial matter. But yes, sir, that would be one of them.
And you think she may have also itemized the election interference case would require additional funds, or categorize that as an area of needed funding?
Yes, sir. Again, I would have to go back and look. Well, I don't, because.
You don't have to go back anymore. You got your right-hand woman right there to help you.
So, yes, sir. That was Sabrina McTier, the county's budget manager. So this is from the 23 budget enhancement request. And the description says, and I'll just read it, the general rule, the more complicated a case, the more likely expert witnesses, e.g. professional services are needed. That was in parentheses. State versus Tex MacGyver has been remanded to this office. This case alone cost $675,000 in professional services. I have this case and several anti-corruption cases that are being litigated in 23. It is sufficient to enhance this budget, and the request was $1.1 million.
So that was for Tex MacGyver and any other public corruption case.
Yes, sir. So that's the kind of description that I was perhaps not doing a very good job of,
No, you're doing great.
expressing, but
You're doing great. And as far as your recollection, Chairman Pitts, is that she never named that she would need a special prosecutor on any election interference case.
Not that I recall, sir.
Certainly never told you the names of who she might be hiring or how much she was going to have to pay them.
Not that I recall, sir.
Did she make other budget enhancement requests back in 2023, 21, or 22? I can't remember exactly when she was sworn in. Y'all know that?
Madam DA was sworn in and began her term in 2021. So we did receive enhancement requests from her for the 22 budget cycle, the 23 and the 24.
What was the $5 million enhancement request for clearing up homicide backlogs? Do y'all recall that? That was testified to here last meeting.
That was a request that came through in the middle of 2021. She requested additional staff to support a number of items, the outstanding homicide situation being one of them. Ultimately, in 2021, through a budget amendment process that we call budget soundings, the Board of Commissioners did authorize her to have funding for an additional 55 positions.
Wow.
It was a mix of attorneys, investigators, and administrative support personnel. And in 21, the cost that was necessary to begin to onboard those positions, because she would not be able to do all 55 at one time, was less than $800,000. I think the budget soundings was $780,000 and some change. But the full annual cost for that is the $5 million. And so we built that in then to her 2022 budget with the full year funding for all of the positions that the board awarded her mid-year in 2021.
And was there any mention in that $5 million enhancement request that would be needed for any type of public corruption investigation?
I will have to go back to the source document to confirm that.
What do you call that source document? Because I'm going to want to make sure I have adequately identified what I need to be produced.
I would call it a budget soundings request.
And can you provide those to me without me submitting an additional subpoena? I think they're included in what I've asked for. It just, I may not have been as specific because I didn't know what to call it.
Yes, sir. I had intended to include the 2021 soundings information as part of the request for the budget information that was already included.
And you can just follow up and get that to me or Secretary Cook at your convenience. And if you would do that for any of those sounding requests for 21, 22, 23, and 24, just to keep me up to speed. Because Chairman Pitts, what I am hearing from you is that the Board of Commissioners never got any kind of specific request for additional funding to prosecute any election interference cases, other
Not,
than that generic 1 million, you know, in 23.
not that I recall, sir.
And no specific information about who needed to be hired as an independent contractor or what they would cost. I understand Governor Barnes was too expensive, and I just didn't know if that's that y'all figured that out or she ruled him out for that reason.
Not that I recall.
Right. He's a gun for hire if anybody out there is paying attention, and pleasure to have you in the audience with us today, Governor Barnes. And I'm just wanting us to get a feel and for exactly how much oversight there is. It sounds like it's very loose as far as employment practices and expenditures for independent contractors.
Yeah, that information doesn't come before the board.
Only you have to peel it out in these soundings and in the annual audit and in the budget submissions as she gives you the categories of what she needs.
That's correct. And when budget soundings come before the board, there's a little more detail and more specifics.
Right. Probably pretty difficult politically for you and the Board of Commissioners to reject a request for needed funding to clear up a backlog in homicide cases, right?
Well, I mean, we had such a tremendous number of cases that were so-called, had been there for up in the thousands. And we decided that the 75 million from the ARPA funds has already been referenced by Ms. Whittmore.
Right.
So in order to, we threw 75 million of I think we received a total federal allocation of about 206 million in ARPA funds, and 75 million of that 206 million went to the justice system.
Right.
And the justice system meaning everything that the CFO has outlined.
So that was back in the fall of 2021. It was about the same time Mr. Wade was being hired. And it wasn't mentioned to you that any of the enhanced money was going to go towards Mr. Wade or any other special prosecutor to prosecute election interference.
No, it was my understanding that 75 million was to be used for the justice system, and specifically, sort of specifically, to reduce the tremendous backlog that we had.
And
Okay, so this is extremely important, y'all. They have over like 55,000 cases on backlog. And you just heard what the county commissioner said. $76 million was supposed to be appropriated towards that backlog. Can you imagine all of the people who have been waiting, all the not only the actual victims, not only the actual defendants, not only the actual criminals, not only the actual, there could be appeals, but I mean the families looking for closure on cases they've probably been worried about, stressed about, I mean, losing their mind, losing sleep over for years and years and years. And what does Cash Money G, the district attorney who's supposed to be serving, remember she said, I'm all about the people. The Trump train's coming. I'm all about the people. You guys can focus on my relationships. I'm all about the people. Jack. She don't give a jack about the people. You've got over 50,000 criminal cases on backlog. And what does she do? She goes to Aruba, Jamaica with philandering Wade. She goes on vacations. She pays this guy over $1 million to do a job he's not qualified for using taxpayer money. But she says Trump's the one trying to steal the election. But she says, no, it's the Republicans who are corrupt. I'm not corrupt. It's the Republicans who are corrupt. Over 50,000. Michelle asks a good question. Why isn't she required to be here? She's too busy at a barbecue. She went to some barbecue to campaign for her trial. So she skips out on Miami. She skips out on the debate with her challenger. Oh, by the way, Captain Mike Shriver will let everybody know. Make sure you subscribe and follow. In the pinned comment is our free newsletter. Make sure you subscribe to that too, because we have Courtney Kramer coming to our show, everybody. Woo! We got Courtney Kramer, who is the Republican challenger. She is the Republican challenger who is going to defeat Cash Money Fani Willis in the upcoming election. So you better subscribe, you better hit that bell notification, and you better become a Nez Nation insider, because that's our free newsletter in the pinned comment right now. It's in the show notes and description as well. We're going to have Courtney Kramer next Friday on the show. Details coming soon on specific times. But this is a very good question, Michelle. Why isn't she here? Doesn't she care about the people? She should be here. She should be here to defend herself. My whole contention is this. If you didn't do anything wrong, why are you hiding? Hey, Cash Money G, if you're watching this right now, I hope to God you are. I'm going to look you in the eye right now, Fani Cash Money G Willis. You need to prove to your constituents, you need to prove to the citizens of Fulton County, the citizens of Georgia, who pay their hard-earned tax dollars to fund your vacations with philandering Wade to Aruba and Jamaica, and to essentially engage in treason by interfering with our election. The people want to vote for this individual that you're trying to prosecute unlawfully. So you need to explain to the people, Cash Money G, if you don't have anything to hide, take that barbecue chicken out your mouth and come prove it. Come on my show, debate me, debate our sophisticated, intelligent Nez Nation audience. I dare you. I triple dare you, Cash Money G, but I know you're not going to do it. I hope to God you're watching this. You are committing treason. And we're not stupid. We're not falling for it because we're not watching mainstream media. We're not watching CNN, MSNBC, and state media, which everybody loves you, DEI, woke mind virus mafia. We're not buying it, Cash Money. Come on my show. Debate me. Debate my people. I dare you. I triple dare you. She won't do it. This is a great question, Michelle. This is a fantastic question. She won't do it.
There was a $5 million enhancement that was from county funds, not the Orca funds, or is that the same money?
Is that the same one?
The 5 million is general fund,
Okay.
county.
And in that request, that was on top of the Orca funds to get rid of the backlog of homicide cases.
Is that correct?
Yes, sir. She actually asked for over 100 positions. When she made the request, and the way in which we addressed it was we already had the backlog program in development. And so we identified a certain number that would be funded through the backlog project out of the ARPA resources, and the balance we provided for out of the county's general fund.
And this is back in the fall of 2021.
Yes, sir.
2 years before her 1.1 million request for public corruption and Tex MacGyver.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Did she ever report back to you the progress being made? What kind of bang you were getting for your buck? You're giving her tens of millions of dollars in either Orca funds or federal, state, county general funds to get rid of this backlog. Did she do it?
I don't recall any specific report back to the board from the district attorney. However, at each
Did you hear that question from Counselor, Senator Counselor, who I love his accent. I know we just did a poll. A lot of you guys were saying he's a little softball. Perhaps he is, but I got to be honest with you. That question that he just posed, did you get any ROI on your investment? Did you get any ROI? You gave her tens of millions of dollars. Did she report back to you, hey, thank you for the tens of millions of dollars of hard-earned taxpayer money. Guess what? I wanted to just inform you that we took that 50,000 cases of backlog and we reduced it by, I don't know, 5%, 3%. Give me 1%. Give me something, Cash Money G. He goes, I don't recall. The corruption knows no bounds, Nez Nation. Holy macadamia nut.
Meeting of the board, we would receive an update on progress that was being made. That's accurate, isn't it?
Yes. Yes, sir. As part of our global pandemic response, we presented the Board of Commissioners with an update for a while at every board meeting, and then eventually at just one meeting a month to update them on our progress using our ARPA resources, and specifically on the backlog project, showing total backlog cases, progression of those cases through the system. And so we've been reporting on that regularly up until February of this year due to our cyber incident. So we are almost ready to begin that reporting process. Again, the last report that we made of the progress of Project Orca was in January at the second meeting of the Board of Commissioners in January, and that was for progress through the end of 2023.
So would that list the number of homicide cases that are pending and how many are being resolved on a monthly basis?
It doesn't list case type. It lists the total number of projects, the total number of cases by each of the players, if you will, the solicitor, the magistrate in the magistrate court, the district attorney, and then superior court and state court. So we kind of track the progress of the cases from the two prosecutors, from the solicitor and the district attorney into their respective courts. And then we track the progress that the courts themselves are making in fully adjudicating the cases. So that information is all presented to the board in a chart and discussion, and what's happening, all the various different things that we had to do in order to see that line make the progression that we were looking for.
So how many backlog cases were there? Do you have a ballpark figure how bad this got back in 2021? We're a year into the pandemic. Courts are not trying cases. And oh, wow. You got a full color report there. Is that in my notebook?
We'll get an exact number. It was.
We started our drop date that we used to define our backlog cases was December 6, 2021. And we started with a total of 148,209 open and active cases in any stage.
That included solicitor's office
Yes.
that prosecutes
Yes.
misdemeanors.
Wow.
Across
and
the justice
DA's
system.
office that prosecutes the felony offenses.
Yes, sir.
Does it break them out? How many are state court versus superior court?
The state court the starting point for the state court was 20,124.
So the vast majority of them, or at least 2/3 of them. What's the superior court?
Superior court was 15,888.
Okay. Then you got magistrate courts as well, I guess. or-
Magistrate court was 39,435.
And that can be everything from a speeding ticket to parking ticket, very minor things.
Variety of.
Okay.
Okay. Yes, sir.
What else you got? Municipal court, I guess?
The solicitor general had 56,462 at the starting point. and the district attorney had 16,300.
Where's the 16.3 now, or at the end of 2023? Has the DA used all these millions to any good to catch up?
From our report in January, the district attorney's number was 130 cases that were the original ORCA. So this is only tracking the cases that were considered in the ORCA backlog that started at 148. So again, that these resources were only supposed to be focused on reducing those cases. There were still new cases, of course, that come into the system since that point in time.
Right.
And this report does not talk about those. This is specifically focused on those ORCA cases.
Those new ones are not funded through the ORCA funding.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
That makes sense.
For who?
The start for the DA, you started at 16,300 and ended up with 130.
Yes, sir.
Okay, and that was from all-
December 6th of 2021 through 12/31/2023.
and we can't discern whether they're dismissed cases, whether they're plea bargain cases, or trials to a verdict.
Not from this report. No,
Okay.
sir.
They just got out of the system, resolved one way or another.
So for the district attorney, they were either moved on to Superior Court, which is where her cases would typically go, which means she still has to then prosecute them. But what we were tracking is, the cases that she had where, they were still sitting in, per se, in her queue, if you will.
Yeah.
So from 16.3 down to 130, they either moved on into the further into the prosecutorial process, or yes, they were dismissed, or whatever the other term is that you would use when a court case doesn't progress, when a matter doesn't progress.
Did your reporting requirements for these ORCA funds require any detail as to the successful completion of a case, whether there was a conviction or a plea, or they just dismissed it, or did they break it down for you that way? Or just one lump sum number of these cases are resolved, they're no longer in our system, in our queue?
We did not require that level of reporting to the Board of Commissioners. We do have, I believe, that level of reporting from our criminal justice system, but it's just not included in what we reported to the board.
And does that criminal justice system of Fulton County prepare a report giving those annual updates or dispositions of cases?
They have not. This is something that the executive team worked on. For Project ORCA, there was a steering committee that was established that, like the chief judge of Superior Court, chief judge of State Court, magistrate court, chief judge, the clerk of Superior Magistrate Court, they all participated in the steering committee process. Our former COO, Alton Adams, guided them through that process. So there was no explicit reporting requirement for that detailed level of information made by the board to the group. But the board did want to see, the results of their efforts. So, Mr. Alton worked with the judicial partners in developing the information that was reported back to the Board of Commissioners.
So you think that criminal coordinating council, or whatever they're called, kept data that specific as to the outcomes of the cases?
I think it's in our system and can be pulled out. I don't know. I didn't participate in
I
those sessions,
understand.
so I don't really know what they did
Who
with that
would you
information.
recommend me asking to pull that data out? Who should I submit a request for, ask to come testify to us?
Yeah, probably Alton.
Perhaps Mr. Adams, Alton
He's no
Adams.
longer the COO.
He is semi-retired. He is continuing to work with the county
Contract.
as a fee-based employee to help us, move further down the road with the potential replacement jail project.
Mr. Adams, a fee-based employee? Does that mean he's still working just on an hourly basis?
Yes,
or
sir.
Kind of a consulting type thing?
Okay, I'm going to fast forward. Thank you, Sazafraz, for the $10 super chat. Why am I getting Katie Hobbs vibes from this movie scene? Yeah, completely agree. The level of arrogance is out of control. Remember, stick around. We're doing a live stream giveaway at the end for members only. So if you're not a member, now's the time to be a member. Also, don't forget, you get all sorts of other perks. You get to ask questions to our amazing guests who come on the show. We have Courtney Kramer, the Republican challenger, who is going to be going up against Cash Money G Fani Willis for the district attorney seat for this upcoming election in the next couple of weeks. And so make sure you stay tuned for that. Also, you get all sorts of perks and all sorts of exclusive content, our members only exclusive Discord, which is on our community tab. So think about becoming a member. You don't have to, obviously. I know I'm always going to be giving away free content. I'm just want to give a little extra special to other people who want that. Okay, so we're going to fast forward a little bit.
Back together. Appreciate y'all accommodating this little break. Keep everybody comfortable, and we will try to forge ahead here in short order. My intention always is for these meetings to last 2 to 3 hours. I think you kind of lose your energy if we go much longer than that, and it's such an imposition on you witnesses that have agreed to come. So we'll try to wrap this up in about an hour or so, and making good progress.
This last
I wanna
hour
finish
is
up with a few of
amazing.
my thoughts, sort of the traveling down certain roads, and then Ms. Joe, I want to get you to give me a little information from the county attorney's perspective. So I'm happy to have you sitting there. Okay, Mr. Pitts, we were talking about the special outside counsel, the approval of it, and essentially this ORCA project and what its goals and intents were, and how it has successfully eliminated a lot of that backlog of the criminal cases that piled up during COVID. So you, as a commission, dedicated significant resources, both from the federal ARPA funds and from the county's coffers, to help staff up the DA's office in order to work through that backlog of cases, we'll call it.
Mm-hmm.
Fair enough? Okay.
Yes.
And it sounds like there was some accountability, at least telling the reduction in the cases, right, Ms. Whittmore, from what you were telling us. They are reporting on a regular basis as the progress that was made on those cases.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Maybe not as specific as I would love to see as what the disposition of the cases was, but we might be able to find that out through this other counsel. You got to tell me the name of it again.
That they need to. I mean, I don't have any issue with that, but I would like to know how the money is being spent.
So
Not who, but how.
We're back to the keeping you informed and the transparency of this process. If a DA is allowed to unilaterally hire whomever they want to at whatever price they want to pay them, do you feel like the county government ought to be able to be kept in the loop on this and reported to as to how your money was spent?
Well, in the loop, yes, there's no doubt about that.
Okay. And you don't feel like this process has been transparent so far?
Well, to the extent that we have not, we were not advised of the hiring of not that it was required of a special prosecutor, nor the payment, hourly rate or whatever the rate was. I mean, we were just following the law, and obviously I'd like to have more information, but that was the law at the time and is the law at the time, as I understand the law.
In your opinion, has DA Willis been forthcoming or transparent with you and the commission as to her utilization of special assistant district attorney in this election integrity case?
Well, to the extent that this is all new ground for us and for all of us. And
that's because it wasn't utilized by the prior district attorney for the last 20 years before her election.
well, this whole issue with election integrity, election interference, and all of that, just new territory for us. And we're sort of, feeling our way as we go through this, even with the trying to work down the back.
So the previous, just really quickly, a little bit of context on this line of questioning. So Bill Cowsert asks, the former district attorney before Cash Money G, who I think his name was Paul Howard, was there for 20 years before Cash Money G. And there was never, listen to this, Nez Nation, there was never, ever an instance where the DA, the former DA, again, there for 2 decades, there was never an instance where that district attorney ever hired a contractor or special prosecutor like Cash Money G did with Nathan Wade. That is very, very pertinent evidence and extremely, extremely damning of Cash Money G.
Backlog of cases that we had. So
Do
we
you
were
worry?
sort of making up rules as we went along, to be honest with you.
Sure. Do you worry that she was utilizing resources for prosecuting a election integrity case rather than getting rid of this backlog of 40,000 criminal cases?
Would you repeat that?
Does it worry you that she was spending significant resources without prior approval or even any reporting or accountability pursuing an election integrity case rather than working on this backlog of 40,000 criminal cases that were pending in Fulton County? It might have been 56,000. I can't remember all my numbers. It was a lot total.
Well, as I said earlier, and as the CFO said earlier, we appropriated 75 million of the 206 million of the ARPA money that we received to the justice system. And she had, in addition to the backlogs, she is currently involved with the YSL case and the election interference case. So those were, 3 really unusual cases that I had never experienced before. So we were trying to be as helpful to her as we can and could by providing, for the most part, the resources that she asked. But as far as what happened to the resources, the money, when I say resources, I mean the money that we gave her, we, after it was given to her, we tracked the cases, the backlogs, and the jury is still out on the YSL and the election interference. So we'll get it all come out in the wash, I suppose, as to how effective it's all been.
And
But we provided what was asked for, and we've not asked for, nor have we been provided any interim reports as to how we're proceeding, other than with the backlogs.
so she hadn't really.
Wait. Is this normal protocol? We provided the $76 million and we were not given any reporting. $75 million. Oh, well, we've never had anything like this before. We've never had an election interference case. Well, maybe the reason you've never had it is because it's never been warranted, just like it hasn't been warranted now. And wait a minute, you mean to tell me this was so, magnified and so overwhelming and out of your depth that you just went ahead and said, okay, here you go. We know it's a big case. You just welcome Donald Brager. You just allowed Cash Money G. Man, no wonder her name's Cash Money G. You just allowed Fani Willis, District Attorney of Fulton County, to take this money with zero oversight? And there was zero reporting back? Where is that money going towards? What resources, what allocation, what line item by line item? Where is all of that hard-earned remember, this is not money out of thin air. This is all taxpayer money. $75 million. Name me another entity where you can give somebody $75 million and just be like, hey, have fun. See ya. We trust you. There is no such thing. But in these governmental corrupt bureaucracies, and look, I'm going to go with the benefit of the doubt. I know a lot of government bureaucracies are probably a foul. Let's just give the benefit of the doubt. Let's just say that most bureaucracies, most government entities, I know this is a stretch, but let's just give them a benefit of the doubt. They are on the up and up. It's beyond obvious that the Fulton County District Attorney's Office and the administration and bureaucracies happening at the county commissioner, the CFO, and the entire county of Fulton itself is the most egregious corruption. Holy macadamia nut. Are you kidding me?
Really told you how she spent the money.
No, sir.
So you gave her 75 million plus at least
Well,
another
it wasn't
5 million.
just to her. There was a whole justice system at
Right.
75 million. Right?
That's
Yeah, it
correct,
wasn't
sir.
just to her.
You gave her many millions of dollars to get caught up on a backlog of criminal prosecutions.
Yes.
And when you did that, there was no mention of any election integrity case, was there? That didn't really ever come up specifically, just this one sounding for additional money in 2023.
I believe that's correct. When you say
Which
that's
is-
correct.
Yeah.
The 1.1 million for Tex MacGyver and public corruption is the only thing that could specifically have reference to an election integrity case.
In her enhancement request, yes, sir.
And it wasn't in her budgetary request either, was it? Anything about election integrity?
It would have, if it was for additional resources, it would have come through as an enhancement request.
So as a commission, you weren't aware that you were funding a election interference case, certainly not before 2023, which would have been 3 years after the election. That's
I think that's correct.
okay. And you haven't been given any information to tell you where the money that you did give her through Orca funds or other things were spent.
Well, whatever part of that 75 million that she received and whether how much was used for the backlog, how much was used for the YSL case, and how much was used for the election interference case, we don't know.
Yeah.
And we're not being given any information other than with the backlog. Now,
Is
that's probably easier to quantify. I don't know how she would give us, or any district attorney for that matter, would give us a report on how the case is going until it's concluded.
Understood.
Yeah.
But she could have told you how your money was being spent that you had awarded to her, whether it was being spent on the backlog of cases versus public corruption cases versus, Tex MacGyver or whoever.
Of course she
would
could
been
have.
able to give you that data,
Could have, yes, sir.
but she didn't.
Did not. We didn't ask either.
Why
And
the
that's
hell
part of
didn't you
why she's
ask?
taking this stance that she's a constitutional officer and doesn't have to give you that information.
That's probably a correct statement.
Okay. Well, let me turn to you, Ms. Joe. You and I have had conversations before today about whether or not a district attorney has to get prior approval and authorization of funding from the county commission when utilizing this independent contractor, special prosecutor device that the legislature gave the ability through Title 15-18-20A. You heard me read that relevant portions of the statute, and you would agree just at face value that would seem to require a DA to obtain approval from the governing authority before hiring an independent contractor?
Yes, sir.
Okay. But I think, make sure you're on.
I would
Um,
agree that the plain language of the statute certainly seems to indicate that the governing authority needs to be consulted and approve such an appointment.
Right now. So tell us who you are. You're the county
sorry.
attorney. Give me just a little bit of background on you.
My name is Sue Joe, and I am the county attorney for Fulton County, which means that I am the essentially in-house general counsel for the corporation that is Fulton County. And my office handles civil matters for the entire county, provides defense and legal advice and counsel to the Board of Commissioners.
And in your role as county attorney, were you ever asked to interpret this statute or do legal research to find out whether or not Ms. Willis should have gotten prior approval or whether she was required to do that before going out and hiring independent counsel?
I don't recall if there was a specific request, but of course I keep up with current events. And when this issue came up, I did have the occasion to look into the matter and research it.
Give us your legal opinion as to whether or not prior approval is required. You've agreed that the plain language of the statute would indicate that. Have there been judicial interpretations of this statute that cloud those matters?
So let me begin by saying that the statute OCGA 15-18-20 that you were reading from deals with assistant district attorneys. So it's not explicitly giving the DA permission to appoint special district assistant district attorneys. In case law, that statute
It does
has
say
been.
independent contractors though, right?
It does,
Okay.
which we that is the classification for special prosecutors in Fulton County in terms of how they are employed.
Is there another statute that specifically addresses special independent counsel or prosecutors, whatever the
I
phrase
have
is?
not found one. And what I was going to say is that the case law that I have reviewed that has interpreted this statute says that while it is not explicitly mentioning special assistant district attorneys, that is included in the general authority provided under the statute to district attorneys. So in at least 3 Georgia Court of Appeal cases, what I have found is that the court has rejected the proposition that this particular statute requires a district attorney to obtain explicit permission from a county prior to appointing a special assistant district attorney. And in fact, the original case, the court noted that
Give us that citation, because
So
this
that-
is kind of instructive to the legislature. Do we need to amend this
Clarify.
statute to clarify? And so you help me with my legal research. What's that citation?
so I'm sure the Attorney General's office would be happy to provide their official advice. But what I will, I'll begin by just saying what the citations are of the 3 cases that I reviewed. One of them is Greater Georgia Amusements at 317 Georgia Appeals 116, which cites to State versus Cook at 172 Georgia to the requesting party. But because the custodial department may have more immediate access, or if it is in the case of voluminous responsive documents or documents with restricted access within those departments, the department itself is often the ones who will upload the documents into our software that is used for Open Records Act requests.
I'm going to fast forward a little bit here.
So if I submit tomorrow an opens records request to the Fulton County District Attorney's Office, maybe I want to find out what happened to those 16,000 cases that Orca was.
Oh, this is good. Listen to this.
Who will respond to that? Does the DA's office respond to me, or do they route it through you and you give me a
My
response?
expectation would be that someone on the Open Records team in my office would be the initial point of contact and say, thank you for your request. We understand you've requested XYZ documents. Either here are your documents, or we estimate that it will take a certain amount of time to gather the documents that we believe are responsive and within our custody. And then that they would keep you updated or be available should you call in or email in with a question as to status.
And if the district attorney did not want to provide the documentation I requested, would she object to that, instruct you to object to that, or does your office make that determination?
So I don't know that we have a long enough history to have a representative sampling of all the different potential circumstances, but my expectation of the process would be that we would communicate what was requested that her office would identify whether or not they had responsive documents, and that they would work with my office to identify the subset of those documents that do not fall under any type of exemption, for example, pending investigations or any of the statutory exemptions that are provided for in state law.
And so what happens if she says, I ain't giving that information up?
I am not aware of such a circumstance. In some instances, the response we get from the departments may
It's a
include, we do
hypothetical.
not have any responsive documents.
Answer the question.
And that is how sometimes disputes arise, because the requesting party may believe that they exist, and the custodial department asserts that they do not exist.
Okay, what if they say, yep, they exist, but nope, I'm not giving them to you? You know they exist. Your custodial people figured it out. It's public records.
To my knowledge, that response has not occurred. But if it did, I would expect my open records team to review the statutory obligations under the Open Records Act with the custodial department to emphasize and impress upon them their legal obligation to provide the documents that are subject to the Open Records Act.
Thank you. Let me ask you about the county ordinance concerning reporting of gifts from vendors or independent contractors. Does Fulton County have such a policy?
I believe, and I haven't reviewed that specifically for today, but I believe you are referring to the prohibitions that are contained in our ethics code.
Yes. So
Yes,
what does your ethics code of Fulton County provide as far as the receipt of gifts from independent contractors or other vendors of the county or its agencies?
I mean, if I could have a moment, I could try to pull that up, but just off the top of my head from previous reviews, there's a lot of language in our ethics code about appearance of impropriety, appearance of conflicts, avoiding appearance of conflicts. So my advice, if I were asked, would always be to avoid it altogether. However, there are certain customary gifts, chocolates at Christmas time, Christmas gifts, etc., things that are shared among everyone in the office. As long as it's of nominal value, and I believe the cutoff is $100. There is a nominal value that is allowed under our ethics code, but anything of significance beyond that is considered to be prohibited.
And is it prohibited to receive it, or are you required to report it?
I can't recall if it's a report. I want to say it's a reporting requirement. And the reason I can't recall is because I like to stay as far away from the line as possible. So my preference would be to not receive it. But it may be a reporting requirement. If you would like a certain answer, I can check either on a break or at some
I'll
point
let you
in the
do that
proceedings.
for me. Do you believe that ethics code applies to the district attorney or other constitutional officers of Fulton County?
I'm not sure what the intent was when the code was originally enacted.
That's not the question.
But I know that there has been a determination by the Board of Ethics, which has purview over
question was,
adjudicating matters
should Fani be
relating
held
to
to
the
that
ethics
standard?
code, that it does not apply to
She's
the
such an
district attorney. And in a related occurrence, we have had a recent piece of legislation updating the ethics code in Fulton County to add, I believe the amendment is a sentence that specifically indicates that the ethics code applies to all elected officials in Fulton County.
Do you know why? Why this clarification?
I did not, I was not the sponsor of the legislation, so I cannot speak for the commissioner who sponsored it. But I do know that it was subsequent in time to the decision of the ethics board that the district attorney was not covered by our code of ethics.
So there was an ethics complaint brought about the receipt of gifts, and it was determined that your existing ordinance or code, ethics code, did not apply.
Yes, sir. The Board of Ethics determined that it did not have jurisdiction under the current ethics code.
And the county commission has subsequently here in recent months amended that ethics code to make it clear that it does apply to constitutional officers such as the DA and the sheriff and the tax commissioner.
Yes, I believe that was passed on April 17th or thereabouts.
Very recently. All right, Mr. Chairman, tell us about that.
Well, I mean, I can't add anything to what the county attorney has said. It came about and I supported it when it came up. There's some loopholes, so we're trying to close all loopholes.
Oh, you better believe there's
Is
some
it your,
loopholes.
and so that is now, has been enacted, a recent ordinance or ethics code for the county?
Yes, sir.
And it now does require the district attorney and other constitutional officers to disclose gifts of more than a nominal amount.
I think that's how it's worded. But it covers the district attorney and others, all elected officials.
Right. What about reporting of gifts that are above $100 or a nominal amount? Are you required to report those or simply banned from receiving them?
I'd have to check the exact language in the code.
Sue will be looking while we talk. So just on a sort of philosophical level,
Yes, sir.
why do you feel like that was needed or that type of ban is appropriate for elected officials, including constitutional officers?
Well, I wasn't the sponsor of the legislation, but
You
the-
voted for it. or-
I voted for it, yeah, to cover, to close any loopholes or remove any doubt as to, who's covered, and who's not covered. Because the idea is for us to be open and transparent about what we're doing.
And is there an appearance of impropriety if you were to receive kickbacks or things of benefit from folks that were contractors or vendors of the county?
Okay, repeat that one.
Is there an appearance of impropriety or wrongdoing for elected officials to receive kickbacks or things of benefit from vendors or independent contractors of the
course.
county?
Well, I would say if it's over whatever that amount is, then that would be a problem.
And is the reason is that your independent judgment and acting on behalf of the people brought into question if you're receiving things of benefit from those that you're doing business with?
Well, I mean, we want to be above reproach. I guess that's used quite a bit by elected officials, and I get that's the intent, so that we are above reproach and that we are open and fair in our dealings. And we have blackout periods, or we cannot even contact to those who are seeking to do business with the county.
Even though it was recently determined that the ethics provisions did not apply to constitutional officers, did DA Willis fill those type of disclosure forms out, those gift forms in the past?
I'm not aware of it. I don't know about that.
Okay.
I've not seen.
What about
Any
Paul
filings.
Howard? Did he fill those type of forms out in the past?
Have no knowledge of that. Yeah.
Guess he wasn't using independent contractors anyway, right?
I don't recall him using a special prosecutor. So I'm not aware.
Has the
'Cause
county,
I have not reviewed what other elected officials are, reporting.
has the county commission ever come in and ask any agency heads or constitutional officers to terminate or void or alter any contracts with independent contractors or vendors?
Okay, repeat the question.
Has the county commission ever come in and asked for department heads or constitutional officers to terminate or void or amend or change any
I
contracts?
think
that
this
they might
dude
have
needs to
entered into
retire. He
with
can't.
independent contractors or outside vendors?
That's not a complicated question. Is it just me? That's not a complicated question.
No, all you did was pull the funding. You did not ask them to
Yeah.
void the contract.
There's a recent contract, not, excuse me, not involving the district attorney, but we didn't ask the department head to we did not ask the department head to terminate the contract. We simply terminated the funding of the contract. And the effect of that was to terminate the contract.
And in Ms. Willis's case, you wouldn't have been able to terminate her contract with Mr. Wade because you can't control the funding of that?
All right, let me make sure I understand the question.
So Ms. Wade had a contract with Mr. Wade to be special prosecutor as an independent contractor. And you have not asked her to terminate that agreement. The judge ultimately did, but a county commission never.
The board did not.
Okay.
No, sir.
And was that because you approved of that arrangement or because you didn't think you had the authority to require her to terminate that arrangement?
Because we did not have the authority, where she had the authority to hire the special prosecutor.
When did that first come to your attention, or the board's attention, that she had entered into a contract for a special prosecutor, Mr. Wade, to handle this election integrity case?
Me personally?
Yeah.
Not during the media coverage on it.
So you didn't even know it until the media erupted back in the fall sometime?
That's correct.
What was your response or your reaction, both personally as in your capacity as chairman of the commission?
Well, since we believe that we did not have any control over her decisions, that it was her decision to hire the special prosecutor, that we had no role in it.
Could you have cut the funding off for that, just like you did this other contract recently?
We didn't know anything about it.
It had not even been disclosed to you as a commission?
No, sir.
What are your views on the propriety of elected official hiring somebody under an independent contract arrangement that they had an intimate personal relationship with?
Well,
He's asking your personal views.
my personal views?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I believe our revised code of ethics covers a situation like that. It's
That's
been
not the
amended, is that
question.
correct?
Revised code that you support would prohibit that, right?
Yes.
Okay.
It was, the definition, I think, was expanded to include personal relationships.
Joe, can you elucidate us any on this? You're leaning forward in your seat as if you might have some information for me there.
I did not intend to lean forward like that.
Be careful, I'm watching.
love
I don't want to
Counselor.
speak for the chairman, but I believe the recent enactment that he is referring to is a new anti-nepotism policy
Right.
that would
Mhm.
cover personal relationships of this nature between an official and an independent contractor.
Is that a new ordinance as well? Or
It
has that been
is,
there?
it is. Our prior ordinance was located within the Civil Service Act, so it was limited in its application to employees and would not have applied to independent contractors.
Would it have implied,
agree.
would it have applied to employees of the DA's office?
Yes,
So if Mr. Wade had been hired as an assistant DA, it would have violated the then existing nepotism policy?
assuming that they had that type of relationship, yes.
I think that's been admitted by both parties at this point, right? You keep up with the press, correct? I mean,
Yes, but in our hypothetical, I mean, it depends on the timing.
So the amendment was to expand on your existing anti-nepotism clause that would prohibit superior from having a relationship, intimate relationship with an employee, to include independent contractors in that ban.
In effect, yes,
Okay.
it expands it, but it had to do it through a separate policy because the original policy is within our Civil Service Act and therefore limited in application to employees. So there is a separate policy that is a county-wide application that prohibits all of the same things that also applies to independent contractors because it is not limited by the scope of the Civil Service Act.
And that was enacted when?
I believe that would also be April.
Right.
Was it April?
April
So both of
April
these,
17th as well,
both of these, your ethics policies, your anti-nepotism, your gift,
have recently
Yes.
been expanded.
and they were expanded to capture this type of situation that we're dealing with here with Ms. Willis and Mr. Wade.
Had they been in place, both would have captured this, would have applied in this instance.
And was there any rationale for not including independent contractors in the past, or was that just an oversight?
That is well, I will say these are all fairly well-established older policies, but as to the anti-nepotism policy specifically, I think the limitation is simply where it was located, which is the Civil Service Act.
And because it was located in that act, it was not deemed
It could
to
not apply to anyone but employees.
Do you know whether the district attorney's office has a separate sort of ethics guideline or ordinance or rules?
I'm not aware. I presume there are state guidelines that would apply as being a state officer, but I'm not aware of any that are specific to her office.
One of the things that was brought forward in one of our previous hearings is that Ms. Willis entered into an independent contract for essentially a publicist, a PR firm to help guide and monitor publicity. Is that the type of contract that the county would need to approve or fund?
I'm not aware of that contract, but it would. Again, back to this constitutional officer and her being somewhat of a constitutional officer. I mean, there's a sheriff, the tax commissioner, and a couple of others that are a little different from the district attorney. But if she had, and your question is about the district attorney,
Yeah.
if she had the funds in her budget, then she could, without coming to us, coming back to the board seeking approval.
Did she ever ask for funding for a PR firm out of New York City in her different budget request? Is that anything in the line item, Ms. Whittmore? She was asking for 36 million. She explained part of it would be spent for a New York City PR firm to monitor her publicity.
Not that I recall. I would have to research that.
Mr. Chairman, is that something that the Board of Commissioners would ordinarily approve or budget for various departments?
Well, again, if that's not something that we would, as a matter of course, routinely be aware of, and I can't recall ever of a request like that coming before the board. But if it's in a department's budget, particularly a constitutional officer's budget, and he or she feels that that's what they need, then if they have the funds under this umbrella of a constitutional officer, they can do it.
But you're the one that has to approve those funds, because I can assure you that's not in our state budget.
Well,
We don't give PR money to DA's offices.
we wouldn't be funding that specific line item. We would be funding whatever she had requested. Then once the money is approved, then the constitutional officer, once the constitutional officer's budget has been approved, they can make changes as they deem appropriate.
Does your Board of Commissioners have a contract with any type of media monitoring service or public relations service?
Does the Board of Commissioners?
Yes, sir.
As a board, No, sir.
Would you approve that type of funding if she had specifically requested it?
Would the board have?
Yeah.
I mean, I can't speak for the entire board, but knowing the board as I do, probably not for that, for the purpose that you've outlined, probably not.
You learned, I guess, the same way the rest of us did back in the fall as essentially the media reported this relationship between Ms. Willis and Mr. Wade. What type of pressure was put on the Board of Commissioners, or was it anybody complained to you, or was it frustrating that you couldn't do anything about it? I'm curious what the reaction was from the board when all this scandal erupted.
Well, there's no pressure on the board per se. I mean, individual constituents, may have commented, here and there, but there was no, I didn't feel any pressure. Obviously, people would comment on what they had seen or heard or read, and I'm sure that's true for the rest of the board as well, but no pressure.
Yeah. You've kind of explained here today that the board really has no supervisory authority or control over how Ms. Willis spends the dollars that you budget for her, but the public is had the presumption, until you're clarifying it here now, that the board approved this device of using an independent contractor as a special prosecutor. It helped fund this election integrity case, and a number of attorneys, both private contractors and assistant DAs, being engaged in it, and endorsed or didn't disapprove of the relationship between Mr. Wade and Ms. Willis. What is your reaction or response to that? Just kind of like you told us today that that's out of your control. You may not approve it, but can't stop it or prevent it.
Well, you just said a lot now, and
Yeah.
and I can't.
I'm sorry
I
about
can't follow all of that.
All right.
No, he really didn't say a lot. What he didn't really say a lot. This is ridiculous. He didn't say a lot. He said the public. I mean, Cowsert is actually representing. Remember, everybody, this country was founded on taxation without representation. Why is our tax dollars going towards no represent when we have no say? We the people, it's a republic. We the people, by the people, for the people, right? And so what Cowsert is doing is Cowsert is asking a very simple question. And this is the county commissioner. This is the guy who's in charge of the county commission. He's the director of the board, Mr. Pitts. And all Cowsert is saying is like, I think the public thought you had oversight. I think the public thought like you approved of Cash Money G dispersing funds in this fashion, dispersing taxpayer appropriation to hire Nathan Wade and going on these lavish trips and yada, yada, yada. He's like, oh, well, you said a lot there. No, he didn't say a lot. What he's saying is how do you account for that? That's a very simple question.
So if you could repeat, I mean, the
Maybe I can
last.
break it down.
Yes, sir.
Do you feel like the Fulton County Board of Commissioners supported this election integrity case or 16 cases, either by financially supporting her to pursue those cases?
Well, I don't think the board, the board had no position or has no position on it. The district attorney, as I understand how district attorneys operate, they are free to choose the cases that they get involved in. And we as a board have no input into that.
You were never educated about that before the fact,
About
those prosecutions, election integrity cases.
I mean, was the board informed that
Yeah.
the district attorney was going to?
You've made it clear she didn't specifically ask for funding for that prosecution or for the hiring of special assistant district attorneys to lead that prosecution. Did you
That's
even
correct.
know that was happening and that you were funding that, even if it was in the big chunk of money?
No, we're not advised of her work program, if you will. I mean, we provide funding for her, and she sets her own work program, and I think that's probably true for, as I understand it, for all district attorneys.
Okay.
Okay, we're coming to the
There was testimony before us in previous meetings about Ms. Willis and Mr. Wade making trips to Washington, D.C. to meet with the Justice Department, and Ms. Willis.
Here we go.
Part, I think, meeting with the Vice President of the United States. Does, I guess this may not be best for you, but I guess, Ms. Whittmore, were you aware of any expenditures for that? I mean, that was paid for with taxpayer money. Is that something that's reported, or you track that they're spending your general funds to travel and meet with the Vice President and the Justice Department?
We do record their travel expenses. I was not and have not reviewed the district attorney's office travel, the details. So I had no knowledge of what her individual, travel arrangements would have been, but their travel requests and transactions are, if they're paid for out of county resources, there is a reconciliation process that is undertaken by the traveler. If they're using the county's procurement card or travel card to pay for the travel, then there is a detailed process that they have to go through for that. But I'm at my level, I'm not necessarily involved in looking at or reviewing any of those transactions.
Those type of travel expenses, do they require any prior approval by the county or by your office?
Our travel policy allows the elected officials to approve the travel for their staff and to approve the travel for themselves.
And you mentioned the procurement card. Is that what we call a P card?
Yes, sir. We use both a P card for non-travel related credit card purchases, and then we have a separate card that we call a T card.
So let me get this straight. There's no auditing. There's no oversight. There's literally no accountability. We gave her millions and tens of millions of dollars. She was supposed to get rid of the backlog, which is thousands and thousands of cases. She went to Washington, D.C., probably on, God knows, first class, God knows what kind of transportation arrangements that were probably highfalutin and overwhelming and overpriced and unnecessary, all on taxpayers' dime. And this is the chief financial officer of the county. This is the CFO, Ms. Whittmore. And she's saying, no, we just, said, hey, this is what you got. And, she's a DA. This is why people become senators and congressmen and DAs, et cetera, et cetera. Let me take that back. It's my hope. I truly do believe in humanity. I know that sounds really naive. I truly do believe in humanity. And it is scary to think that one thing I don't want to be is I don't want to be so cynical, right? It's very, very difficult not to be cynical, but I do have faith. I do have belief. I do think that the majority of people are good inside. Yes, we have some bad apples, and yes, they seem to congregate in certain areas, but I like to have faith in humanity, and it's proven me right over and over again. And that's kind of one of my missions with this channel, is to really weed out the bad and celebrate the great, the ones that are actually helping our country. And so, do people become elected officials for nefarious reasons? Of course. Are there a lot of bad apples? Of course. But I do believe, and there's a lot I can cite examples, I won't get into it. There are, think about it. Think about our former president. Trump doesn't need any of this aggravation. I mean, the guy is literally being faced with sham trial after sham trial at the highest level. The guy's got money. He doesn't need money. The guy has fame. He doesn't need fame. He is being spit on, hated on, trashed on, railed on, persecuted unlawfully. His name is being slung in the mud. Literally, the guy can't go online for 2 seconds without being met with visceral hate, and yet he still soldiers on. I truly believe that is indicative and emblematic of somebody who's on a mission. I can relate to that mission because I've lost a lot of family members. I've lost a lot of friends. I've lost a lot of connections myself by doing what I'm doing right now as we speak. And so I applaud. I applaud those that are doing it for the right reasons. But this is a clear-cut case, is it not, of somebody who is doing this, somebody who is obviously addicted to power, obviously addicted to money, to cash money. Let's be specific. And it's become, highly evident time and time again, exposed for who she truly is. I mean, this is insanity.
Card, T for travel.
Okay.
So departments have both, one for basically goods and services and one that is for travel. So the county's policy is a reimbursement-based policy, so the traveler can pay for their travel expenses directly and seek reimbursement, or the county will prepay using the T card, and then the reconciliation process follows the trip.
Explain that reconciliation process. Let's say somebody uses a T card to take a trip to California or whatever. It gets charged directly to the county through that essentially credit card.
Yes, every department has a single travel card holder, and the individual traveler is required to coordinate their travel needs with the travel card holder. Travel card holder makes all of the arrangements and charges for that card, and the traveler, if they're traveling for official county business, is expected to return and supply through Concur. We use the Concur platform for our travel reconciliation process. They're expected to provide the receipts, hotel, evidence, if it was a conference, evidence that they attended the conference, and any other receipts that they may have where they are seeking reimbursement. So that is when I refer to the reconciliation process, that is what I'm referring to from the traveler's perspective. And then each month, the travel card holder is required to pull their bank statement for the card and complete the reconciliation process for that bank statement for that period.
By virtue of your position as the commission chairman, or is it a subset of?
Fast forwarding a little bit here. We got to get to the live stream giveaway.
Let's see. I think it's a 5-member committee, I believe, and 2 commissioners sit on that committee, and they're appointed or nominated and appointed by the board.
And currently you are on the audit committee?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And is Bob Ellis the other commissioner?
Yeah.
Right.
Commissioner Ellis is chair of the audit committee.
And who would the other 3 members be then if you are the 2 commissioners?
The private citizens.
And what's the authority or the power of that audit committee? What's the role of the audit committee?
Well, we work with the county auditor, Mr. Anthony Nix, and to provide audits for various departments, areas when we see or feel that need to be looked into from an audit point of view, whether it's financial or programmatic or otherwise.
I know only what I've read in the Atlanta Journal-Constitution about this, but apparently there was a recent audit report that had been requested by the audit committee.
Yes, sir.
Tell me about that. What was that audit for?
I believe you're referring to the audit that was done at the request of the audit committee. We utilize an outside firm called Cherry Cherry Becker, nationally recognized firm, to look at and review and it wasn't really an audit, it was a review of our purchasing, primarily purchasing requirements, processes within the county, looking at all departments, but focused in on the sheriff's department and the district attorney's office in particular.
And did that Cherry Beckert, is that how you?
Beckert, yes, sir.
Did it produce a written audit report of its work?
It did.
And was that presented to the commission
Yes.
or just to your committee?
No, it was presented to the commission, and we had two representatives from the firm make a presentation to the full board a couple of meetings ago, maybe 3 meetings ago.
Did this audit reflect any irregularities or improprieties in spending by the sheriff's department?
There were, I'm going from memory, we can make the full report audit. Well, it was really a review and not an audit, but it was an audit firm, nationally recognized firm. And again, they focused on the sheriff's department and the district attorney. And there were 2 sets of recommendations, and I don't recall the specific recommendations, but with respect to the sheriff, I think they used a term of, you remember the term? Was it high? High problem. Is that it? Yeah. So the conclusion was the county sheriff's office risk level, they call it, was high, and it lists certain areas. And with respect to the district attorney, the risk level was medium.
Did it list particular areas that there was a medium risk for impropriety by the district attorney's office?
Well, I can read from the document here. The use of prosecutorial discretion as a justification comes with the risk of it being used with greater frequency, with more purchases being made over time outside of county rules and procedures.
And that expenditures that we're talking about?
Purchases.
Okay, are those
Yeah.
purchases using a P card or a T card, or is it identified?
Probably a combination of both.
Ms. Whittmore?
Prosecutorial discretion are typically the items that the district attorney
Take the
engages
mic
in
out your
directly.
mouth, woman.
Expert witnesses, if there's any special evidence processing that has to take place, any visual aids maybe that need to be supplied as part of trial, any extraordinary trial expenses. Typically, the district attorney engages and secures those goods and services
Okay,
outside
fast-forwarding
of
a
our
little bit
county
here.
procurement process.
See.
Okay.
Now, with respect to District Attorney Willis, again, I don't know whether she routinely had a security detail or whether we paid for one. But
Oh yeah, he asked about
in
her
this
security.
particular instance, because of the YSL trial in particular, and
What does
the
YSL stand for?
Young thug.
Young Slime Life, I believe. Isn't that
Okay,
correct? Is that
so
right?
that's
Young Slime Life.
That's the gang-related
reputable
prosecution's
street
been going on for a year now.
Yes.
Okay, got it.
Because of that trial and the election interference, it came to us in executive session that she was receiving, as were a number of us, me included,
Yeah.
Particularly during the election back in 2020. I had a detail with me. But because of the YSL trial and the election interference, she was receiving threats, bodily harm, pretty serious. So a report was made to us about that in executive session, and a request came to us on her behalf to provide additional security for her. And after listening to what was going on, we, the board, listened, and then in open session decided and voted to provide additional security for her.
What's the cost been for that additional security, and is it continuing up until today?
I don't know whether
Probably.
it's continuing, but do you have the cost? from security?
Probably $25,000 a day for security detail of taxpayer money.
As I recall, the full ask that was presented included relocation, as well as some hardening of her personal residence, and law enforcement support from at least 2 outside jurisdictions.
Jeez.
I don't recall what all of the amounts were, nor can I tell you that I have seen an invoice from either of those other external jurisdictions.
Oh, what a shock. No accountability for that money either. So no accountability for taking care of the backlog, no accountability for taking care of actually the people of Fulton County, no accountability, oversight, no documentation, no citing, no auditing of any of the taxpayer funds that have been appropriated that are supposed to go towards Fulton County resident issues, policies, problems related to the district attorney's office. No, she just goes on vacation, hires Nathan Philandering Wade, who's not even qualified, $1 million to him. She's got security. I mean, she just wants to live the high life. She ditches out on debates. She doesn't go to debates. She goes to Miami to drink Grey Gooses and have cocktails and conversations. Does she do anything for Fulton County? What does she exactly do? Can we get at least a job description for Cash Money G? Is that at all possible? And this is the chief financial officer of the county.
The relocation costs run about $4,000 a month.
Was that relocation cost renting her this condominium where she and Mr. Wade would meet?
I don't know the physical address of either of those locations, so I really wouldn't be able to answer that question.
Do you know who you were making the payments to for this, for the rent?
We do. I do not, but I certainly know who we cut a check. Well, I know how to obtain who we cut a check to, but I don't see those expenses every month.
Has that continued, the relocation expense? I mean, essentially, the county is providing extra security at her personal home, but also renting her a separate location she can live in or sleep at. Now, I'm not going to ask you to disclose that location. Is that continuing?
The expenses are continuing.
And how long have they been going on?
I believe they began in the later portion of 2022. I don't recall the exact date. I would have to research that.
All right. Thank you.
Unreal. She thinks she's
Joe,
Beyonce.
You had mentioned this. I don't know if I'm calling it a civil rights office, but what is the county's structure for receiving complaints of employment discrimination against the county or any agency of it?
So employees who have complaints regarding their employment conditions have a couple of different possible routes. One of them is DCRC, and I am blanking on what the acronym stands for, but I think it's the
Diversity and Civil Rights Compliance.
Okay, so it is.
Diversity and civil rights compliance.
Yes, we've kind of outsourced our initial point of contact for EEOC type violations internally. And that is done outside of my office. And then at some point in the process, we may get involved later on down the road, but it begins at the CRC. And then we also have a whistleblower hotline that is established that routes to our county auditor. And whistleblower complaints can be investigated in that manner as well. So those are
they
the two
by the auditor
primary
or
routes.
DCRA?
DCRC.
Yeah, DCRC. Okay. Is that a confidential process?
I would say so. It is confidential even from me at the outset, unless it develops into litigation or an EEOC complaint. So it should be confidential from the employee's point of view when they
Yeah.
present the complaint.
Does the employee's employer learn of such a complaint? Some type of employment violation?
Employer meaning their manager or
Yeah.
whoever they are the subject of their complaint.
Right.
I would not expect that person to be made aware unless and until there's a point in the investigation where that becomes necessary in order to obtain necessary information.
Like their explanation or defense.
Yes, when they would be made aware of the complaint in order to provide a response.
And insofar as the whistleblower hotline, that's confidential as well, I would presume.
Yes, under state whistleblower laws, the identity of the whistleblower is kept confidential for as long as possible.
And does the county have its own whistleblower policy?
The county does also have a whistleblower policy.
Is that a written policy?
I have not looked at it in probably over a decade.
Wow.
I believe it's an ordinance that mirrors the state whistleblower statute, but I would have to confirm that.
Does it prohibit retaliation against somebody for bringing forth a complaint of impropriety or wrongdoing?
Yeah, I would expect that it does include that, because if it mirrors the statute, then it would include the anti-retaliation provisions.
So how long have you been with the county attorney's office?
2.5 years as the county attorney, and then 10 years prior to coming back as the county attorney, I was a line attorney in the office for 4 years. So
What do you make of this constitutional officer argument, so to speak, that constitutional officers are not subject to any supervision or control by the county commission?
That makes no sense.
are you asking for my personal opinion or my understanding of the state of the law?
I'd love to have them both. Let's start with the law, because
Well,
we may be looking for ways to change laws, and I'd be
You're damn
interested in
right.
your personal views from your experience.
So, as to the state of the law, I will say that the challenge presented for my office, for the board, and to some extent, I would imagine for the officers involved, is that there is this inherent conflict created by the state of the law, wherein there are certain elected officials who are essentially embedded with the county, provided facilities by the county, provided either employees or supplemental employees by the county, equipment by the county, a budget for operations by the county. Those officials must interact with the county, for example, in order to process payment vouchers. They have to come back to the county, even in instances where they may have independence or latitude in contracting, for example. They still need to come back to the county finance department in order to get a check cut, in order to pay on these contracts that they may have control over, but they can't cut a check directly to the vendor. So there is this kind of built-in tug of war where two parties who are essentially operating independently, one is funding another without any necessary input or oversight into the process or any of the contracting, but essentially is on the hook when it comes to processing the payments, when it comes to supplementing budgets after the fact in order to make up for budgetary shortfalls because of those expenditures, and ultimately may be left with the legal liability and exposure should there be any issue with the way in which those services were obtained. So I do believe there are some practical and legal challenges for all counties and elected officials who are in this kind of in-between state where you have independence, but you depend on the county for finances and processing, and where the county has an obligation to fund, but doesn't have any control over ensuring any kind of standards or protocols in the expenditure of those funds.
Very well stated. If you are probably as knowledgeable in this interface of the county governments and state elected officials or county elected officials, in the case of a DA, as any attorney around, if you have suggestions to our committee on how we might could clean this up a bit through statutory amendments or modifications, please feel free to give those to me. Okay. And while I have you there at the witness chair, I, as the county attorney, I have mentioned to you sort of pre-meeting, if there are any documents that you have produced to us so far, you've got the whole notebook in front of you, or that you may produce in the future as you complete the document production that you feel like contain confidential personal information or otherwise privileged information, please identify that to me. You've been so good here to have all these documents bait stamped so we can very clearly identify which pages you're talking about. Then I will treat them as confidential within this committee. We will not be making these documents public other than available for review of committee members until I hear back from you, hopefully in the next week or two.
Thank
Fair
you, Mr.
enough.
Chairman.
Okay, thank you. At this time, I am going to turn the chair over to you, Madam Leader, or any designate of the minority party if there's additional questions anybody might want to make at this time.
Okay, so now it's going to be turned over to Harold Jones, who's going to ask a bunch of questions. So this is kind of the point of the live stream that I want to really make sure that we're going to turn this over to members only. Members only is coming up in just a few minutes after Harold Jones is done. I'm just going to mute him for a second. He's basically just going to say, like, he basically is just going to say a bunch of stuff about how, well, this is part of the law. The law is that Fani Willis can do whatever she wants. That's basically what he says. And I'll kind of let him, I'll let you guys listen to this in just a second. But all I want to do right now is I want to make sure that members stick around. Super chats, super stickers, stick around. I'm going to give you guys shout outs. But also, I want to say that find me. Here's the question of the day, everybody. Find me an organization. Find me any component in life in America. Find me any facet of American life where you can get an exorbitant amount of money. We're talking tens of millions of dollars. But I mean, for that matter, let's just say it's $10,000. Let's just say it's $5,000. Find me any component in life, whether it's a friend, whether it's personal, whether it's business, where you can get $10,000, $5,000. Now, Cash Money G got over 70 million. And nobody is going to say anything. There's no oversight. There's no record keeping. There's no line by line item. There's no IOU. There's no reporting back. What did you do with this money? There's no reporting back. Hey, I'll take the 5,000 with a 2% interest, and I'll pay that back plus the interest. Find me any component in life. Let me know in the comments, guys. Find me any component in life where you can get away with that. Because what we just heard from the county commissioner, Mr. Pitts, and the chief financial officer, more like the chief financial vegetable, Miss Whittmore, who doesn't know anything. I've never heard a CFO be this inept when it comes to finances. That's essentially what they just said. They just essentially said, we gave the district attorney tens of millions of dollars of hard-earned taxpayer money from Fulton County residents, and we did not ask for anything in return. We did not ask for any reporting. We didn't get any reporting. We didn't get any oversight. We're going to do a giveaway in just a few minutes, guys. Stick around, members, coming up.
Money that the legislative body has appropriated any way that he or she chooses. It may be, I understand the words, it may be legal, but being gay was illegal at one point. Interracial marriage was illegal. Segregation was not illegal. Yeah, well, that's illegal. Discrimination was legal. So I have a philosophical difference with that. I think if we appropriate money, and I'm not singling out the DA, it's all of them. That's the difference.
So
And my colleagues don't see it as I see it.
I understand, but to be consistent, it would have to also include the sheriffs
Absolutely.
too. Absolutely.
And the tax commissioners, 4 of them, right?
Yes, and also the clerk's office.
And the clerk's
It
office.
would include all of those.
Right.
Yes.
This may be splitting hairs, but I do want to clarify that the constitutional officers under the county constitutional officers are just the 4, the sheriff, the
That's correct.
probate judge, the clerk of the superior court, and the tax commissioner. We would consider the district attorney to be a state constitutional officer, which is
Right.
some
But
differences.
They have the same kind of purview over their budget as the others do. As far as
They
like-
have some additional latitude and independence than other elected officials. Yes.
the sheriff. Wait a minute, you're saying the sheriff doesn't have latitude in his budget?
I'm saying that I just want to make sure that we understand that the sheriff and the other county constitutional officers don't have exactly the same independent rights as the state constitutional officers,
And I'll clarify
rather than lump
that
them all together.
OCGA 151820 applies only to the district attorney. If
Yes.
it's by its very, on the face of it, it doesn't apply to clerks and tax commissioners and sheriff's
And the
departments.
statute has nothing, it's not based on the fact that she is a state officer or state constitutional officer. It's just based on the statutory authority of all district attorneys.
But Mr. Chair, as far as like when you're talking about the budget process, you would say that those, especially sheriffs, they do have that opportunity to kind of control their budgets. Is that not right? Have they not also used the same argument that you cannot control their budget? Has the sheriff ever told you that? Mr. Chair?
Me?
Yes.
Okay, I'm sorry. I thought you were asking the county attorney.
Has the sheriff ever came to you and said that you also do not have purview over his or her budget?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
That's what I
absolutely.
thought. Absolutely. 100%.
The 4 constitutional officers and the district attorney, who is a state constitutional officer. Yeah, the 5 of them there, they all say that.
Absolutely.
And again, my philosophical difference with that is, it doesn't make any sense to me that we don't have, can't tell them, or have no control over how they spend their money. We appropriate the money based upon specific requests, and it's approved based upon specific requests. So when they get it, then they believe they can spend it any way they see fit, and I just disagree with that.
And also, just along those same lines, the only thing one of the things that's a shell in this particular statute is that the district attorney actually shall be able to actually define the title of the person that she hires or he hires. They are able to do that and also fix that compensation. So that's the only shell really in here as far as the statute is concerned. Is that not right? That they have the opportunity to fix the title as far as the title that they're going to give the other employee that they hire. So with Mr. Wade, is it not right? Or anyone else, any other district attorney, they can give them any title that they want to as far as the statute is concerned. That was perfectly within the district attorney's purview.
Okay. Which subsection are you citing from?
Yeah, the district attorney shall define the duties and fix the title, line 7 on subsection A.
Oh, I see.
So that's been completely within his or her purview to do that, according to the statute. To fix the title, to
That-
determine what they're going to
Yeah, that is
prosecute.
what the statute
Right.
says, yes.
So he or she would not have to come to the county commission to say that I want to have a special prosecutor for a specific event, whether it's election integrity.
So essentially what he's saying is that the statute, which that's the whole point of CalCert holding and launching these hearings, is in case they want to change this law.
It's from a liability standpoint. If you guys were to start having more control over the district attorney's budget, is there any concern? I'm asking the county attorney, is there any concern from a liability standpoint? Because you have a lot of these cases where persons will sue the district attorney, sue the sheriff, but also sue the county. And the case law says, well, they're separate entities. And so therefore, you can't sue the county, you guys, for what the sheriff does or what the DA does, because they're separate. And what the court would do is go through a litany of things to show the separation. And one of those is that you guys don't control the budget of the DA or the sheriff. Would there be any concern that that separation then would leave? And now all of a sudden, when somebody sues the district attorney's office, they might be to sue you too. Would you have that kind of concern?
So one of my least favorite things is running a complete legal analysis on the spot because
Sure.
I don't think it's very thorough. But just as an initial matter, as a practical matter, we are always sued with the official in most cases. We frequently provide representation under our plan of defense. Once we undertake representation, we also provide payment of the judgment, should there be one. So we are already on the hook, so to speak, if we are sued with them. I think and to make it clear, I don't know that any of us are here to take a position on what should be done. I think that is within the purview of your body to make legislative recommendations. But an argument in favor of more control might be that if we are on the hook for the liability, that it is we don't have any control over the actions of the officials who are generating the potential liability, but remain on the hook for providing defense and also payment of the judgment.
But normally in those cases, you guys are actually dismissed. And there's actually a question about, especially for sheriffs, whether you're actually technically on the hook or not.
Once
The
we
county
once-
will pay it. But
once
it's
we-
not necessarily
Okay,
key.
I will say this. In the
Yeah.
27 years that I have worked in government defense, I have never known any of the governmental entities I have worked with not to pay the judgment, should there be one after we have undertaken representation. And under the current iteration of our plan of defense in Fulton County, once we undertake representation, unless there is cause and we discontinue representation, we would be providing payment of the judgment, should there be one, or settlement.
But from a standpoint of being sued, Mr. Chair, would that give you any concern that when a district attorney now is sued, they're also going to they can legally bring in Fulton County if you guys started trying to dictate salaries? It's a possibility that could happen. Would that give you any concern?
Probably.
Okay. And I bring that up because just in first many cases, but in 2023, you have a federal court case that says Fulton County has to be dismissed because the law in Georgia shows that exclusively that the district attorney is a separate entity from the county. And one of the things that they point out is that the district attorney controls the compensation and counties only possess the power to approve the amount. And so I guess my point just is, you said would concern you, if you get into the business now of actually trying to control compensation, it might just do an intermingling. That's just a question that I had, and you answered it. Someone had spoken about the open checkbook. Can you kind of tell us about that? That you were saying you could go online about the open checkbook. Can you kind
Yes.
of tell us what that is?
It's an open part of our open government platform. If you go to the county's website under Inside Fulton, it's like on the far right, Inside Fulton, scroll down from that, you'll find a button that you can press that will take you to our open government platform. We have open budget where you can go and look and see what the budget and actual expenditures are. open checkbook. I believe it goes back 5 years. Includes vendor payments. It's updated. Currently, I believe it's updated on a weekly basis. But that information has been out there for a while.
In fact,
It's
go ahead.
we've had a service interruption as a result of our cyber incident. So we're just now in the last week or so been able to bring that back online.
Yeah, because my colleague over here is totally fascinated by it, because you can actually pull up every every law firm or whatever that's getting business in real time and see exactly what their bills are. Can you not?
You can see their payments,
Right,
yes.
right. You can actually see their payments amount up to, I believe, you said it's updated weekly.
Yes, it should be updated weekly.
So a lot of the questions that we have as far as like payments and openness, it seems to me that you guys actually are very open, doing way more than Richmond County, quite frankly, that you guys are very open as far as how this process works.
We have been working
Yeah,
on
open when
our,
nobody knows anything.
transparency for a while now. But yes, we try to have as much information available as possible.
I don't have anything else, Mr. Chair.
Senator Jones, while we got you here as an ex-solicitor, how is a solicitor's budget handled? Is your stake?
They approve it or don't approve it, which normally they're going to approve it. And they give you a lot of discretion. Now, can a solicitor have the same opportunity to say as a constitutional officer?
That was my next question.
Okay,
Yeah.
so
Do we have that
essentially,
same
hold on a
opportunity?
second,
No,
folks.
but it also is the
I
prosecutor's
want him to
office,
actually
normally,
adjourn.
they're
Hands
more
off.
open as far as hands off. Exactly.
Yeah, allow for
They're,
prosecution.
they're
Okay, so he has basically adjourned. Now, one thing that's really important that I want to talk to you guys about is this. So I'm going to turn this into members only. We're going to be doing a live stream giveaway right now. So members, stick around, consider becoming a member right now. CalCert, just really quickly before everybody leaves, that CalCert is going to be doing more hearings like this. Senator CalCert has actually said that he's going to try to do at least one of these types of Senate hearings. Remember, this is not McAfee. This is not the election interference case. This is not the appellate courts that are looking at the actual evidence that the Pitbull Sadow has filed to combat Cash Money G and the interlocutory appeal that we talked about live. So those are all separate, right? This Senate hearing, this Senate committee led by I call them general, led by Senator CalCert, is essentially a committee that's looking to see, well, we're fighting for the people of Georgia. We're fighting for the state of Georgia. And we need to see, like, if Cash Money G really did our constituents wrong, we need to do something about it. And so he said he's going to be basically essentially having one of these hearings per month until this gets resolved. So Cash Money G could get subpoenaed. With all intents and purposes, she will get subpoenaed. And wait till you see the fireworks on that. You got to make sure you subscribe. Please do me a favor. Tap the thumbs up. It takes you a nanosecond. It's free. Tap that thumbs up because we need to share and spread the truth, because everything we're talking about here, mainstream media is not talking about. You only get the real kind of, I'm not beholden to Pfizer or anybody else. You get really the unskewed truth right here. So consider, please, subscribing, hit that bell notification, and we're going to get things cooking right now. So I also want to share our actual merch shop. So this is what's going to happen. I'm going to be giving away, okay, you can check this out. I just put a link in I'm going to be giving away shirts. I'm going to be giving away hats. I'm going to be giving away Amazon gift cards. We've got an honorary mention of the Cap, Mike Shriver. Everybody give Captain Mike Shriver a huge round of applause. Give him a big round of applause, because this guy actually had surgery today on his foot. Mike, we love you so much. He is the best mod in the business. We love Mike. We love you, Mike. So Mike has been such an amazing, amazing member. This is Mike right here, Mike Shriver. We call him Captain Mike. Mike has been such an amazing member of our Nez Nation family since the beginning. He's just the OG. He has put in all the work. He has done so much. He moderates our Discord server, which is for members only, by the way. Go to the community tab and you will see members only Discord link right there as soon as you become a member. And he has moderated comments beautifully, artfully, tastefully, professionally. He is literally the best mod in the business. And by the way, I've been a content creator, live streamer, podcaster for decades. And I've come across tons of different mods for tons of different channels and tons of different entities. And Mike Shriver, Captain Mike, is essentially the best. And so, Captain Mike, you get your pick of the litter of any shirt. I'm going to give you a shirt, I'm going to give you a hat, and I'm going to give you a $25 Amazon gift card. Again, let's hear it for Captain Mike. You're the best. Okay. So this is our, hold on a second. Okay, so this is our store, okay? This is our storefront where we have, so we've got Holy Macadamia Nut shirts, both for men and women, okay? We've also got Nez Nation shirts, okay? We've got different types. We got the kind that are just right on the, you can see like right on the corner there by your, on the vest. And we also have the full ones too. I personally don't like the full ones, but we also have those as well. And you can actually custom design yours if you want to. We have men, women. I mean, we even got stuff for kids and babies. So we've got hats. We got Holy Macadamia Nut hats. You can see right there. So I'm going to be giving away. Here's what's going to be happening. I'm going to give away, okay, I'm going to give away a hat. I'm going to give away a shirt. And I'm going to give away 2 Amazon gift cards. Mike, you're already set. Mike, you get a hat. You get a shirt of your choosing. You just let me know. How it's going to work is we're going to do a giveaway. We're going to do a draw, okay, for the giveaway. And Mike, you already know my email, but my email is down there, Mike. I want you to email me in the email, in the body of the email. And this goes for everybody when you win. Mike is already guaranteed he's going to win something because he's the best mod in the business. You're going to email me, and in the body of the email, you're going to give me the size and color. If it's a cap, then give me the color and size. If it's a shirt, give me the color and size. And then in the subject line, you're going to say either shirt winner, hat winner, or cap winner. Now, Mike's going to help me keep track, so don't try to fool me, okay? And then Amazon gift card winners, that's going to be the last prize that I give away. And how it's going to work is I'm going to do a draw. We're going to do a random number draw. And if you're here right now live and you're a member, you're going to get a chance to do that. Yes, I love the comments right now. Absolutely. Yep, Mike, you're the man. And so I left the link in the comments, and you should be able to also see this on my You should be able to also see this on my in the show notes and on the channel as well, just in case you can't. Okay. But so that's essentially, hold on a second. Let me get this cookie thing out of the way. So that's essentially what we're going to do. And how it's going to work is I'm going to do an actual, it's going to all be completely transparent, not like Cash Money G. We're going to have fun. And so essentially, like right now, we're going to do our first giveaway right now. So everybody who is here right now, all you have to do is just type in the word shirt right now in the comments. And you're going to see the entries go up. Everybody type in shirt right now in the comments. It doesn't matter if it's capitalized, just type in the word shirt. And then once we're ready to do that, I'm going to do a countdown. This is for members only. Consider becoming a member. This is your chance. So you can see the entries have gone up. Do you guys see that? You guys can see the entries. The entries have actually gone up. Let me actually do this. That'll be okay. So right now you see how it says 15 entries. It says 15 entries right there. So you can kind of see that, can't you? So all you need to do, very transparent, very un-Cash Money G. So you're going to type in shirt. Then I'm going to do a countdown. And then you're going to see the random generator right before you on the screen. It's going to announce who the winner is. So right now we're going to do our first giveaway is going to be a shirt. So if you are in the chat right now and you are a member and you only have to do it once, all you have to do is just type in the word shirt. I've got 23 entries. 23, 24. Okay, just went up. I'm going to give you another 10 seconds or so, and then we're going to do our first giveaway. As a matter of fact, I've got a great countdown. Ladies and gentlemen, Nez Nation, if you want a shirt, it's Friday, y'all. Give me a big cheers, too. I want to cheers all y'all. Hope you got a good drink in front of you. It is Friday. I love it. Here is the countdown right now. Type the word shirt. If you're a member, type the word shirt in the comments right now. Here's the countdown.
Liftoff will start in T-minus 10 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Okay, here we go. We have liftoff. Boom. Who's going to get it? Who's going to get it? Who's going to get it? Sarah Burnett. You are a winner, Sarah Burnett. Congratulations. Everybody give a big congratulations to Sarah Burnett. She's our first winner of our live stream giveaway for members only. Congratulations, Sarah. Congratulations, Sarah. You did it. That is so awesome. Good for you. Okay, so I'm going to send you the link again, okay? I'm going to send you the link, Shara, in the comments right now. All you have to do, okay? I'm putting the link in the comments right now. Click on that link. And then I want you to email me, okay? I want you to email me right here, nez@professornez.com. In the subject line, Sarah, you're going to put shirt winner. And then in the body, just send me the exact link to what you want and an address that I can ship it to. And you are going to get yourself a shirt in the next couple of weeks. We're not Amazon, okay? We don't give it to you in 2 days. You're not going to get it in a day. You'll probably get it usually it's within 14 days. It'll get shipped to you. So just really quickly, Cap, can you remind people, Cap, in the comments? Remind people that they have to email me. In the subject line, you're going to say shirt winner, live stream giveaway. In the body of the email, send me the link to the product, the link to the shirt, size, color, and then best address to send it to, and you're in. Congratulations, Sarah. That is so awesome. Okay. So let's do our next giveaway. What should our next giveaway be? Holy macadamia nut. What should our next giveaway be? Let's do a hat. Who's ready for a hat? Everybody start typing in hat. Start typing in hat in the comments right now. Let's give away a hat. Let's do it. We're going to give away a cool Nez Nation hat. It's going to look a lot like this. It's going to look a lot like this, what I'm wearing right here. This is an awesome Nez Nation hat. By the way, the quality of this is bar none because you know I only get the best quality, right? Hold on a second. Let me, why is this not sharing? Oh, okay, there we go. So type in the word hat. Type in the word hat. This is the hat that I'm going to be giving away. It is high quality Nez Nation hat. So if you want a free hat as a member, this is my way of saying thank you to you for being a member. Don't forget, we're going to give away, I'll probably do another shirt, and then we'll do a couple of Amazon gift cards. So stick around for that. Mike, you've already got everything. You got everything because you're the best mod in the world. Okay. Everybody type in the word hat in the comments. Okay, I see a lot hat. Thank you, Mike. Email to me. Yep, subject line, address, 14 days. That's right. Thank you, Matt. We're having fun now, y'all. We're having fun now. I don't think I can do music here, or I might get demonetized here, or I might get flagged down, not demonetized. Okay, I got 21 entries for a hat. Doesn't have to be capitalized, and you only have to write it once. You only have to do it once. You just have to write it once, and you are in. The word hat. Everybody type in the word hat. Only 21 entries? Really? That's it? Where's all the members at? Hey, guys, if you're watching and you're not a member, consider becoming a member. Because really quickly, if I may, I'll give people a chance to type in the word hat. Not only do you get access to our Discord for members only, which I'm a part of, we interact, we engage, we have fun. You get priority comments, priority responses, priority shout outs at live streams, badges next to your name, as well, okay, as exclusive content and exclusive posts. So make sure you consider. Obviously, you don't have to. Just consider becoming a member. Okay, let's do the countdown. Who's ready? Let's go. We're going down in 10.
Will start in T-minus 10 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We have ignition.
Who's going to win? Who's going to win? Who's going to win the hat? Holy mackerel, it's Kaylee. Give a big round of applause to Kaylee. I hope I'm saying that right. Holy mackerel. Give a big congratulations in the comments. Congratulations, Kaylee. You are the winner of the hat. That's what we gave away, right? The hat? Is this fun or is this fun? Give me a yeah if you're having a blast. It's Friday, for crying out loud. Congratulations, Kaylee. You did it. Okay, good. I pronounced it correctly. Congratulations, Kaylee. You did it. That is so awesome. You got yourself a hat. Okay, you know what to do. All you have to do is just email me in the subject line, put hat winner, send me the direct link from the shop, okay? And then in the body, give me whatever best address works best to send it. You'll get it within 14 days. That is awesome. I see some yeahs. Good to see you start out. We got some new members too, which is awesome. Welcome, Amy. Amy's a new member. Amy Kwiatkowski. I hope I'm saying that right. I'm probably butchering it. I apologize. Welcome, Amy, as a new member. Everybody welcome Amy. Awesome. Okay. Let's do another shirt. Let us do another shirt, shall we? Let's do another shirt. I think we should. Let's do another shirt, and then we're going to do back-to-back Amazon gift cards. We're going to do back-to-back Amazon gift cards. By the way, you can win more than one. You can win all of these, as a matter of fact. So everybody right now, type in the word shirt. Type in the word shirt right now. That's what we're going to do. Type in the word shirt. All you have to do, it doesn't have to be capitalized. It doesn't have to, you don't have to do it more than once. All you have to do is just type in the word shirt in the comments right now. Dun, 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 dun. Don't forget, guys, we've got Courtney Kramer, who is the challenger, the Republican challenger to Cash Money G, coming on the show. Plus, we're going to get the Pitbull Sadow, as I promised. We're going to get a bunch. The Pitbull Sadow has already promised me an interview. Obviously, he has to wait till this whole debacle is over, but we're going to get the Pitbull Sadow. We're going to get a lot more amazing guests. My ultimate goal is to get Trump himself on the show. How cool would that be? Maybe I'll mediate or moderate a debate between Vegetable in Chief and Trump. How cool would that be? Moderate the presidential debate right here. Laura Tilford, it's so good to see you. So glad you're here. Okay, guys, have you all typed in shirt? Have you all typed in shirt? Here we go. Here's the countdown. This is your last chance. 10 seconds.
Liftoff will start in T-minus 10 seconds. 10, 9, 8.
Thank you, Sarah. You're the best.
6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We have ignition.
Here we go, guys. Here we go. Who's going to win? Who's going to win? Who's going to win? Donna Kerstetter. Look at that. Did you already win, Donna? Congratulations. Congratulations, Donna. Everybody congratulate Donna. That is so awesome, Donna. You are a winner. Congratulations. All you have to do, Donna, is send me an email. That is so awesome. And I'll do it again. I'll send the link for the shirts in the comments. Congratulations, Donna. That is so cool. Where's Donna? Are you still here, Donna? She's not here anymore. Did she leave? She's like, I'm out of here. Donna, make sure you send me an email. There you are. There she is. Thank you. You're welcome. Congratulations. Congratulations. I can't tell you guys how much I appreciate you guys. I can't. I appreciate you guys like so much. You guys are the best. This is literally the best community. This is the best online community of all time. I love you guys. Your guys' comments, your insights, everything that we talk about, the engagement, the Discord server. I just absolutely just want to say I appreciate you guys more than you'll ever know. And before I get to the Amazon gift card, I just want to say huge gratitude, huge thanks from the bottom of my heart for being a member here. You are supporting the truth. You are supporting all the look. This stuff isn't easy, creating these videos, creating the distribution, creating the research, the qualitative, the quantitative, making sure that I'm getting you the best factual data that mainstream media doesn't talk about. This is a mom and pop shop. I'm doing this with my wife and mostly by myself too. So, I just want to say how much I appreciate you guys. Thank you, Captain Mike. And I'm just so proud of the growth of this channel. We just hit 200,000 subscribers on YouTube not that long ago. Our Rumble channel, follow me on Rumble, follow me on X. We are growing exponentially, and it's all because of you. And I am never going to stop. I am the hardest working man on planet Earth. And I'm telling you right now, I'm never going to stop. Why? Because I'm a father, I'm a husband, and I live in the greatest country on planet Earth. And the United States of America has given me everything. And it is my absolute mission, my purpose in life to give back. And so I'm never going to stop. Thank you, Cowboy Rob. I really, really appreciate you guys. I still got to get to all the shout outs too. Don't forget, stick around for that. As a matter of fact, why don't I do a couple of those right now? Michael, welcome as a new member. John Limongello. I hope I'm saying that right. Thank you for the $5 super chat. Thank you, Chad Hudson. You rock. Roxana's a brand new member. Everybody, welcome, Roxana. Chad Hudson, thank you so much for the $9.99 super chat. This country needs a severe turnaround. I worry. I do too. That's the whole reason I'm doing this. I worry for my children's future as well. Thank you, Chad. Lou Maldonado. Hey, Lou, what am I, a schmuck on wheels over here? I love that name, Lou Maldonado. Hey, Fanny Trump. Thank you so much for the $2 super sticker. I don't know if that's what you sound like, but that's what your name kind of gives me that vibe. Carlton Cobb, thank you so much for the $4.99 super sticker. Carlton, great to see you. Michael Nix is a new member, $4.99. Thank you for the super sticker. New member, Graveladon. Thank you, Graveladon. Welcome to Nez Nation. Mary Reaper, thank you, and great to see you. Great to have you be a member of Nez Nation. Chad Hudson, again, love y'all, Nez Nation. Keep fighting for truth and structure. I have stuff to do, but this kind of stuff is extremely important in the land of the free. Man, Chad, God bless you, sir. Absolutely. God bless you. You rock. Carol Murray, thank you so much for the $2 super chat. Yeah, exactly. Where's Fanny, for crying out loud? New member in Karen J. Great. Welcome, Karen. It's awesome to have you here. Sassafras. Why am I getting Katie Hobb vibes from this movie scene? The level of arrogance and pure disregard is unbelievable. Willis is MIA everywhere except for parties. Well said, Sassafras. It's so nice to have you here. Donna is a new member. Paula is a new member. Auburn is a new member. Welcome. Donald Brager is a new member. Laura is a new member. You guys are awesome. Patricia Winter, thank you so much for the $10 super chat. We got Patricia Radke became a new member. And then our Dear Woke Christian, you are awesome. Gifted 5 memberships, as well as became a new member himself. I got to say thank you so much, Dear Woke Christian. He has an amazing YouTube channel. Everybody go subscribe and check out Dear Woke Christian. He is absolutely awesome. Thank you, brother. It's so great to have you here. We got Star in the house. Good to see you. Thank you for becoming a new member. Georgia, welcome to being a new member. CR is a member for 1 month. That's awesome. Lucha. Fanny is living in Fanadashian. Yeah, $1.99. Thank you so much. Nelson, thank you so much for the $2.99. Thank you so much, Doolin Dalton. Appreciate your time so much. And to your question about no accountability for monies given, I can't even get a $5 loan paid back and I have an IOU. I'm with you, brother. That's called normal society. That's called living in reality. Thank you so much, Doolin. It's great to have you. Susan Villarreal, welcome as being a new member. It's awesome to have you. Jill is a new member. Welcome. Sue Davis, you guys are awesome. Catherine, it's so great. Welcome. Keith, welcome. It's awesome to have you here. Amy, thank you so much for being here. Sarah Burnett, thank you so much for the $20 super chat. You are awesome. Kathy Wigg, thank you so much. Welcome for being a new member. Cowboy Rob is in the house. And then we got Chuck Kreiner. You rock, Chuck. Thank you so much for the $19.99 super chat. You are awesome. Thank you so much. Really, really appreciate it. Okay, who's ready for the Amazon gift card? Who is ready for the Amazon gift card giveaway? If you're ready, give me a yeah in the chat. Remember, you can become a member right now. Okay, I'm going to call this, what I'm going to say now is I'm going to call this Amazon One. I'm going to call this, let's just call this, what should I call this so you can write it in the comments? Now, this one you cannot win twice. So the shirt, the hats, you can win twice, but I want to kind of spread the love. So these next 2 Amazon gift cards, you can only win once, okay? You can't win both of them because I want to kind of spread the love a little bit. Okay, we'll just call this Amazon One. Okay, so just type in Amazon One in the comments right now. This is going to be the first. I don't know what else to call it. I'm not clever enough right now to call it anything. Okay, so we're going to call this Amazon One. Everybody call this. Just type in Amazon One in the gift card. In the gift card in the comments. Yeah. Just type in Amazon One, all one word. Just type in Amazon One. We'll do Amazon Two. How crazy is that? How innovative and different is that? Yes, Dear Woke Christian has the right idea. Amazon One. And by the way, this you should get pretty fast. It's not going to take 14 days. So all I need from you is same thing, just email. And then I think I need your, whatever your Amazon account email is under or what have you. I can't remember. I haven't done it in a while. But essentially, it's a little different than the shirt and hat winners. Basically, all I need you to do is email me. In the subject line, put Amazon gift card winner. And then in the body of the email, give me the best email. If it's the email that you sent me the email from, that's a lot of email for one breath. Then just let me know that, okay? Again, there's my email right there. Okay, we got 10 entries. There's more than 10 people here, isn't there? We only have 10 entries for the Amazon gift card. Type in Amazon One, all one word. It doesn't have to be capitalized. Type in, look at that. Amy did the right thing. She got Amazon One. Is there only 10 of you right now here? Where's Mike? Is Mike in the house? Thank you, Mike. Appreciate it. I've got 10 entries. This is going to be interesting. I've only got 10 entries. Looks like some people left. Looks like some people took off. Holy macadamia nut. Well, we're not going to wait around forever. I got 12 entries here. Okay. 12 entries. Donna's back. Fantastic. Okay. I have got 12 entries. 12 entries. Type in Amazon One. Type in Amazon One in the comments. You only have to do it once. Yes, Donna, you can win a shirt and an Amazon gift card. You just can't win 2 Amazon gift cards. So once you enter into this Amazon gift card run, I just like to spread the love a little bit with the Amazon gift cards, just because I don't know. I feel like that's kind of a sort of a grander prize maybe than the Nez Nation merch. And so I just like to spread that love around a little bit. Okay, here we go, guys. Here's the countdown. If you haven't typed in Amazon One, do so right now.
Liftoff will start in T-minus 10 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We have ignition.
Who's going to win? Who's going to win? Who's going to win the first Amazon gift card? Holy mackerel, it's CR. You did it, CR. Everybody give a huge congratulations to CR. What do we call you, CR? Do you have a name or just CR? That's fine if you just want to go by CR. Good for you. Congratulations. Congratulations. You You're the big winner, CR. That's so awesome. $25 Amazon gift card coming your way. Woohoo! Friday, baby. Friday just got a lot brighter. Good for you. Good for you, CR. If you have another name or nickname, just let me know. Okay. Now, the next one is going to be Amazon 2. How innovative, how creative. Christy. Okay, Christy. If you go by CR, that's fine too. I like Christy. I think Christy's a pretty name. Okay. We've got our final giveaway. All you have to do now is type in Amazon 2 in the comments right now. This is our final Amazon gift card. We've already given away a hat, 2 hats. We've given away a shirt. And now we're giving away our final Amazon gift card. Everybody type in Amazon 2, all one word. Doesn't have to be capitalized. Just type in Amazon 2. I'll have to come up with more clever names. Maybe I should have called this one Nez Nation. It's great to have you here. I love it. This is for members only now. Members only. You have to be a member. You have to be a member over here on YouTube. Type in Amazon 2 in the comments. Amazon too. This is our final. Don't forget to subscribe and follow, y'all. Don't forget to tap the thumbs up. I would really appreciate it. It would be absolutely awesome. Amanez. I like that, Cap. Amanez gift card. That's pretty good, Cap. That ain't bad at all. Amanez. I love it. All right, here we go, guys. By the way, you'll get those Amazon gift cards probably in the next day or two, if not faster. I just need to go give my dog a walk first. Okay, let's do this. Here we go. You got 10 seconds if you're a member.
T-minus 10 seconds.
Here we go.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5,
Type in Amazon 2 now.
3, 2, 1. We have ignition.
Who's going to win? Who's going to win? Who's going to win? Keith. Keith is the big winner. Keith, everybody give Keith a big, huge round of applause. Where's Keith? Everybody give a big warm congratulations to Keith. You did it, Keith. You got the second and final Amazon gift card. Congratulations, Keith. That is awesome. Don't forget, guys, we're going to do a lot more of these. We're going to do a lot more of these, a lot more members only. Cool exclusive live stream giveaways, live Q&A. So you get first dibs on questions when we have amazing guests like Courtney Kramer, who is the Republican challenger to Cash Money G Fani Willis in the upcoming Georgia Fulton County election. So make sure, you guys, that you become a member and consider, and also all the other perks too, which are absolutely phenomenal. So make sure you do that. I want to give another huge congratulations to all of our winners. And again, I just want to say another big shout out to Mike Shriver, Captain Mike, who is the best mod in the business. Thank you, Mike, for all that you do. I just want to say I'm so happy that your foot surgery went well today. I was sending you thoughts. I was sending you prayers. And we love you, Mike. You're doing a fantastic job of getting our country back, of helping me, helping Nez Nation, helping this channel grow, and helping it run smoothly with all your beautiful moderation skills. You're doing an amazing job, Mike. Congratulations again to all the winners. You guys absolutely rock. Thank you to all the super chat. Thank you to all the super thanks. Thank you to all of you guys. Again, if you're wondering, what do I need to do, Nez, to claim my prize? Again, just send me an email. Okay. Send me an email here, nez@professornez.com. And then in the subject line, just put whether shirt winner, Amazon card winner. I have it all recorded, obviously, so don't try to fool me. And Mike's going to help me too. He's going to give me a list of all the winners and their names. And then in the body of the email, just send me the link to the shirt, hat, or item and best address to send it to. Obviously, if you're an Amazon gift card winner, you just have to send me the email that you want me to send that Amazon gift card to. Okay, so make sure you do that. No rush. Do it as soon as you can, as soon as you have time. There's no rush. You are definitely the prize winner, and you're going to get your prize no matter what. The shirts and the hats are going to take a little while to get there. Just give me some time. We are not Amazon, but it will take a little bit of time, probably about 2 weeks to get to you. But what I want you to do is when you do get it, please send me a photo of you wearing it. I would really appreciate it. Then I can post it on our community tab. I could post it in our, or just post it in our, actually, here's even better. When you get your hat, when you get your shirt, post a picture of yourself wearing it in our Discord for members only. So that would be awesome. So we can share it and we can all enjoy it. We can all celebrate it. That would be absolutely fantastic. Thank you so much to everybody watching. Thank you, Jan. Thank you, Kaylee. Thank you so much. Really, really appreciate you guys. You guys are absolutely the best. Thank you so much, Yvonne, for the great compliments. All of you that did not win, stick around. You're going to win. You win by being a part of the best community online on planet Earth. I love, love, love all of you guys as always. May God bless you. May God bless your families, and may God bless America. I'll see you soon. Have a great weekend, everybody.